the hand, and a penalty! With Charlie Dennis looking to take the Phoenicians to the promised land on the road in El Paso. A whistle from Jeremy Shear, and the left foot of Charlie Dennis strikes the bottom corner, and given away by Rising. Frank Lopez into the box. Armando Moreno saved by Rakowski. A whistle, and there's two more. Phoenix Rising have trusted the process and put themselves a win away from a Western Conference semifinal. It'll be Tulsa in the second weekend of November for Phoenix Rising. And what a privilege it is to persist into mid-November in the USL Championship. A sign of real progress for a pair of sides that stumbled below the bar in the 2024 season. Now in 2025, Phoenix Rising and FC Tulsa inching ever closer to etching their names in the lore of this league. A conference semifinal at One Oak Field in downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma tonight. Just a step away from a coveted spot in the Final Four. A step away from keeping the season alive for Phoenix Rising and for FC Tulsa. The 38th match day of the season on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network this evening. Ryan Sikora with Kevin Cardez. Mahir Sinhasan will join us from the touchline in moments. Our engineer on location in downtown Tulsa is Sammy O'Brien. Evan Reiser is our technical director back in studio. 7th consecutive match on the road in the postseason for Phoenix Rising Football Club. A time to take the top side remaining in the USL Championship postseason out of play, Kevin Cardez. We have been here before so constantly as watchers of Phoenix Rising, but now a titanic test against the league's best.
Yeah, second year in a row for the crew coming to watch them play against the #1 seed early in the playoffs. I think I can say with a fair amount of conviction, Ryan, that there's a chance that the Western Conference runs through Tulsa, Oklahoma tonight. You're looking at two teams, both of which are extremely talented. A Tulsa team that has completely erupted over the last 12 months and has become a completely new club. And Phoenix Rising has reinvented themselves over the last 24 months, trying to find their footing after a title in 2023. Now, it really feels like they have something going. You said it was a privilege to persist into November. I completely agree. What a time to be here. The weather is perfect. This is a perfect time for football to be played, and it's going to be a good one.
Well, the Western Conference quite literally does run through this place. The #1 seed in the West and the top remaining seed following a chaotic week of losses for Louisville City, the #1 overall team, and the #2 overall team, Charleston. Right now for Tulsa, they win out. They win tonight. They win next week. They would host a USL Championship final, having never previously won a playoff match in this league. That is what is at stake for the hosts, for Phoenix, trying to do the same thing they did in 2023.
And what's odd is that somehow it's just not that shocking. This happened last year too, and it happened the year before with Phoenix. You saw Switchbacks, sort of just erupt into the final, host a final in Colorado, and win a title coming out of pretty much nowhere. Phoenix doing the same thing in 2023. This is a league that is won in November. You can do whatever you want on the table. You can win as many games, set as many point records, get as many goals, set expected goal limit records. It doesn't matter if it doesn't come down and come to fruition in November. And Phoenix and Tulsa are two teams that have watched it come to fruition in November in the last 7 days. Tulsa on the brink of doing something completely unprecedented just in their club history, going from being the Roughnecks and now being FC Tulsa in the USL Championship, trying to find their footing and perhaps host a home USL Championship final. So much on the line for both teams, but Tulsa in just completely uncharted waters, not just for them, but sort of for the league as well.
Real opportunity at the ready for Phoenix Rising and FC Tulsa tonight. We take you to the lineups here, live on location at One Oak Field in Oklahoma. We'll start with Phoenix Rising, the #5 seed in the Western Conference, upset technically El Paso Locomotive on the road in West Texas a weekend ago. Patrick Rakowski keeps his place in goal, as does everybody else, an unchanged 11 for the 3rd consecutive match. Pop Marboy captains the side with Carl Saint and Rafael Shihus the back 3. The wingbacks still Ryan Flood and Acela Senge. No Colin Smith, no Daniel Flores, the traditional starters for Phoenix in those positions. Jean-Eric Morsu and JP Skierce form a double pivot in the middle. Hope Avievu, Darius Johnson, and Charlie Dennis, the front 3. Kevin, 6 goal contributions in 7 matches for Phoenix's now superior player on the right side, Charlie Dennis.
Yeah, this Phoenix attack has taken many forms in 2025. They've at times flowed through Hope Avievu and his brilliance as a creator. They've at times flown through Isan Nino Sako and his brilliance as a striker. This team goes as Charlie Dennis does in November, and as they have in October and in September as well. They have flown as well as Charlie Dennis has, and he has been elite in the last 7 games. When he is able to provide and contribute offensively, he is an absolute terror for everybody that he comes against, but he's also been the one to shoulder Phoenix to multiple extremely important results in the last 2 months. They will go as he does. If he can find a way to be involved from the first minute to the 90th, they will have success tonight against Tulsa, because there has been no team that Charlie Dennis hasn't been able to match against and do very, very well.
4th match of the season for Phoenix Rising against FC Tulsa. 1 loss, 2 draws, and a penalty shootout win mixed into one of those 2 draws in the prior 3 meetings this season. A big change at goalkeeper. Johan Peñaranda does not get the start over Tyler Derrick, the recent signing, in goal. It's a back 4, maybe a back 3. Lucas Stauffer, Ian, and Lamar Bautista, the 3 center backs. Travian Souza is the left back, a midfield 3 of Delence Pierre, flanked by Jamie Weber and Giordano Colli. Owen Dam returns to the starting 11 as either a fullback or a true winger behind Khalil Almedkar, who was stretchered off in the last match against Colorado Springs, a 1-0 win in 120 minutes for Tulsa. He will be the starter tonight behind Taylor Calhera, the leading goal scorer in this FC Tulsa side. Lamar Bautista has only missed 54 minutes since the start of September, Kevin. He has been ever present at the back and one of the best center backs in the league.
Lamar Bautista was an absolute problem the last time Tulsa and Phoenix squared off. He had 107 touches, and it felt like he could have had 200. He was all over the ball. He is dominant. The way that he gets back in transition against the counterattack is extremely impressive, and that's what Phoenix has done so well over the last 2 months. It's get the ball, get free, and get loose in transition. Lamar Bautista is an eraser when he gets back. If he can control the game not only as a passer, but as a free safety, just like Potmore Boyd will attempt to do tonight on the other side of the coin, Phoenix will have an extremely hard time breaking down a very staunch FC Tulsa defense. Lamar Bautista is the one who will lead that charge.
And he will have a real opportunity to continue on as an all-league selection next week across the USL Championship. Lamar Bautista of the #1 seed FC Tulsa, 57 points on the year, 19-point difference from 2024 to 2025. And now we might as well, we'll bring in the 3rd member of our crew here at One Oak Field, Mahir Sinhasan, down on the touchline at this new look real soccer pitch, Mahir. It's no longer really a baseball field as it typically would be.
Yeah, that's the one thing about the USL Championship in general is, you know, we go on so many road trips or see so many times Phoenix Rising hits the road and they're playing at these baseball pitches overall, but Tulsa able to lay in some sod. They've been very meticulous over the past couple of weeks to get this pitch down for the first round match against Colorado Springs last week and tonight as well. Let's see how the ball moves and see how it affects play.
We just talked a little bit earlier, told you the news about the wingback position. Still Ryan Flood, still Acela Senge, no Flores, no Colin Smith, Mahir.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Pamadou Ka's side has been dealing with over the past few weeks. They've really had to move this lineup around, and even though they have moved to this 3-4-3 to their benefit, they still don't have the players they want to. Mo Traore's been out since May and June, Emi Quaisho, David Rivera, Calvin Arase. So once again, Phoenix Rising in a rhythm, but it's very consistent in terms of availability.
And that defense has been on real form over the last couple of weeks. Have not conceded in 4 straight, longest shutout streak since 2024.
Yeah, it's definitely big for Pamadou Ka's side, especially for a team that conceded so many times and for a coach that earlier this season said he would rather win a game 5-4 than 1-0. You take a look at that El Paso match last week, Ryan. They held Locomotive to 0.11 XG. That is one of the lowest expected goals total in a USL Championship playoff match. But Pa's still leaning into the attacking football. He's still leading into the mentality that he was saying at the beginning of the year, saying that we know what this group is capable of. But he also said this too, saying, quote, if you worry about conceding goals, you're in the wrong business. This is in reflection to what we saw last week, not just in El Paso, but across the USL Championship, where amongst 8 matches played, only 6 goals were scored.
That won't be the last you hear that .11 number, by the way. We're going to bury that one all throughout this broadcast. Switch to the FC Tulsa side of things. 19-point difference, just touched on it from last year to this year, one of the biggest turnarounds in modern league history. They've done it how, Mahir?
It's come down to mentality overall, and when you talk to the different players that were brought into this Caleb Sewell and Luke Spencer-led system, specifically Jamie Weber, he says that while this team, they have a short history, they haven't got the success that they want to, they're worried about getting titles, they're worried about getting cups, and that's what we've seen this season from FC Tulsa, where they came from a team that persistently was right on the Western Conference playoff bubble to being at the top of the conference.
And then the atmosphere tonight, 7,580 something here a week ago in the win over Colorado Springs. That's a club record. They got it in the first round of the playoffs. All indications pointing to that they will break the record the second consecutive week.
Yeah, it seems like it too. And we were around the pitch, around the stadium earlier today, Ryan. We were talking to some of the workers, and they were expecting 8,000, potentially 8,500. So you're talking about smashing this record that we saw last week against Colorado Springs. And already right now, from my view pitch side, I can see a lot of black coats, a lot of black shirts in the stands right now. They're going to be making a lot of noise, those FC Tulsa supporters, specifically those behind the net on the left side from your guys' angle, and then also in the dollar beer section. That sold out earlier today. So FC Tulsa, they're buying into this playoff match, and the Sooner State's buying in as well.
It's filling in slowly, but filling in surely on a 60-degree night in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Mahir, thank you. We'll hear from you a little bit later on in this presentation of the USL Championship postseason on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. We'll be back. We've got the sporting director stepping into the booth with us for the second consecutive week. Here from Tulsa, once again on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be a vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
You're listening to the pregame warm-up on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
Welcome back into the Rising Radio pregame warm-up live on location in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the Western Conference semifinal match between Phoenix Rising and FC Tulsa. Big match, just as last week was, so we figure we bring in the big guns. Brandon McCarthy, for the second consecutive week, the sporting director of Phoenix Rising, joins us here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. Brandon, first of all, thanks for being with us. Secondly, how was travel getting into Tulsa? That's always a hot topic, trying to get to this part of the USL Championship world.
It was smooth for everybody. Everybody in the traveling party, no problems. It was quick, easy, and thankfully with all the delays, everything happening, we avoided some bullets there, so it was good. Everybody should be ready.
And it's always fun to be playing at this time of the year, at this occasion, one of the final 8 teams alive to win a trophy and raise it at the end of November. Yes.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it in this, when you're playing in cooler weather, again, similar to my background, like baseball, if it gets cold, you're playing for something real, and you're starting to get that here where you're in Tulsa and it's not hot and humid, and it's colder, you're going to wear big jackets, and it means something important's happening. So I really enjoy this feeling.
You talked about, you just said it, your background in baseball, and you're around the team a lot this year. You're always present on the field. You go to most of the games. You've played professional baseball at the highest level you can get to, and although you've noted before that you may have not played professional soccer, do you find yourself connecting with these guys in these moments where it's, you have an appearance in October baseball, I believe, with the Dodgers in 2017. Do you connect with these guys in any way, like knowing that you've played in games not like soccer but similar in terms of intensity?
Yeah, sports are sports. Like, everything is the same. How you process it is still down to the individual, and I don't care if it's tennis, baseball, soccer, or bowling. Like, it's just a desire to perform well when you know you need to perform your best. So I just love being around sports for that, because it's incredibly universal. Like, you just know what it is. And I know what these guys are feeling and what they're going through and how important it is. And, I just have all the respect in the world when you see people at the ground level doing everything they can, all the prep work that it takes, and then the emotion of actually doing it.
Brendan McCarthy here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. You mentioned that emotion. What was it like last week in El Paso to get those 50-odd, 75-odd supporters being around the team post-game after a playoff win?
I thought it was fantastic. Our fans took over the stadium. We were loud. It just felt like a good atmosphere, and especially just to kind of kick off the playoff run with being able to celebrate with your fans after, to have that moment, even the send-off at the hotel. Like, it just kind of tells us that things are different here in Phoenix. We've known it. Like, our fans are just, they're different. And I just really enjoy it, because it adds more, I guess, gravitas to this time of year, where you feel like you're playing for something else other than just yourself.
First round, we talked about it sort of behind the scenes, a record low goal count in the entire first round for the USL Championship playoffs. Lots of conversation around why that could have been. Any thoughts from you as to why that happened in the first round? It wasn't even close. I think the next closest was maybe 19 goals.
19 a couple of years ago. This year it was 6 matches.
32 in 2019.
4 per game. Yep.
Of 26. Like, I can't. It's almost beyond statistical variance, I feel like, to have that big of a spread in the two. But I think you're seeing more teams becoming a little bit more tactically adept. There's more back fives that are happening, a little bit more cautious game states than people just opening it up and going. I still would never put it as we'll have 6 goals and 5 red cards in 8 games across a wide open league. I think sometimes it can come down to just attacking talent. Sometimes in the league, if you know how many elite guys are there to truly create magic. But sometimes maybe just things have this weird momentum where I wouldn't be surprised if that continues the rest of the postseason, where it's just really kind of tight and compact.
You mentioned the elite guys, the difference makers, if you will, the final 20, 30 minutes of matches when legs are tight, Brandon. Charlie Dennis has been that for your team over the last month and a half. He, I would presume, is out of contract at the end of this season, or no? Does he have a chance to come back next year?
Charlie's back. Charlie's under contract. He's back with us next year, and we're happy about it. Like, it's when he came here, he was someone that we went out and we wanted to go get. He's like, if you guys want me, like, we need to extend here for a while, and I want to be a part of it. He said, absolutely, it makes sense. And Charlie's come good on everything, so it's been a great relationship. So that's welcome news, I think, for a lot of the listeners here tonight. A part of that group that you said last year, you were bringing a lot of players back. To have maybe a lot of that spine, I would presume, with how you've built it over the course of this season back, and as you look further forward at the difference makers, where do you see that playing out next season? We've got a good amount back, and then you just start to look at little positions here and there, or where are the areas that, early this summer we were looking at, we need a center back who's really steady and who can organize, and that was actually going to be a big piece of our off-season work, was who can we find, and the Rafa situation came to us, and it was like, we can't lose this opportunity. This is exactly what we would have spent our off-season recruiting for, and so we've gotten ahead of that there. Jean coming in and fitting in as well as he has been a good piece to, that'll roll to next year, and we don't have to go attack that this offseason. But there's always little pieces here and there. There'll be some players that are out of contract that you gotta backfill those spots, and then some where you're always looking for just elite premium attackers. If you can find those, then that's the whole world is searching for them. You got to find them.
When you look at that, and you say that, we've talked a lot in the past about how difficult it is to roster build at this level with some of the price lines that you're looking for, the players you're looking for. How do you find elite level attackers to come at this level, which is, not the Premier League, obviously. It's not MLS even still. How do you find those players? Where are the places that you look?
You look around the world. You're trying to find really transferability of ability. There's some places where you can love a player, but you just don't think they will transfer to maybe this level and the American style of soccer. And so actually talking to Jean about it this week, we love the French levels because we feel like there's a lot of similarities there. The players are probably more tactically adept, but they play a transitional style. They play faster and very physical. So we think that translates well, as we've seen with Jean, but there are other levels that are not that way. And in talking with John this week, he was, he mentioned, he's like, you have a little bit more time on the ball in France, but your teammates are a little bit smarter about where to go. But he's like, it's fast here. So like, you get the ball, you have no time to do anything. So you need strikers, attackers who can adapt to that. You don't get to sit and linger over the ball and do everything you want to do. You have to work really quickly, and so you got to find someone who's playing somewhere and has already adapted to that.
But once you acquire those elite talents and you go and you find the guys that you think fit, my bigger question is, and we talked about this last week, and we've talked about it sort of all season, building a model and building a system and building something sustainable. How do you get those guys to stay?
You sign them to longer-term contracts, realistically, and then you got to make sure that the fit is right for them. Sometimes you see it all around the world where someone comes in and the style of play doesn't suit them. There's, we saw it 2 years ago. We recruited a whole team based on Juan's style of play, and it was very, very peculiar. Like, you're looking for the smallest details in fitting that system. And when Juan goes out, it's then you kind of got this group that, like, ooh, it's going to be tough to do things with them. This is a little bit less like that. Pa is very, very adaptable, I guess. He adapts based on what he has, and we saw it a million times this year where you get terrible news that so-and-so is hurt, and he comes in and goes, okay, we play this kid here, and we do this, and we go on, and we'll do this, and that's the adaptation, and we roll through. So it's a credit to him how adaptable he is, and then so you can bring in an attacker, and there's a less of a chance of, I think, of just a pure failure, because unless he's injured or the mentality's wrong, the manager should be able to get the most out of him.
How much does the character side of Pamadou Ka matter as well? Because it's a guy who we've noted can speak a million different languages and is played in so many different places and is so connected with so many different cultures. How much does that play into the fact that this Phoenix Rising team is an amalgamation of a little bit of literally everything?
It's really, really important. There's just a lot of buy-in that he gets very quickly. One, his playing career. Two, and I've said this multiple times with players when I get on, you choose what language you want to have this interview in, because we will always speak to a player before we sign him. He speaks with the manager. We all get together as a group and talk to him. And playing that of, when you're going after an African player, do you want Wolof? Do you want French? Do you want English? What language do you want? You can see people's body language change very, very quickly. We see African players who see a manager who looks like them and go, and they instantly, I didn't know. Like, there was just a lot of buy-in that you get from Bobby, because he's very, it's aggressive, it's in your face. He asks you hard questions quickly, but he also shows the love really quick and connects with you. And we haven't gotten off a call yet this year where we've gone, that player is the wrong fit, or that they've gone, no, that guy's not for me. It's usually a very quick connection.
Sure. It's probably a big asset of the modern player as well. You're looking for someone at this level who wants to develop you, who wants to turn you into a top player, but doesn't want you to hate them in the process, naturally so.
Yeah, his style is on it. He's softened in some ways over the year as he gets more familiarity, but one of the things that we've really worked to do this season is you have to have people who represent the mentality that you want. And as you're starting a project, you're just going to find that there's some players early on that you go, okay, this isn't what we're looking for going forward, and sometimes you have to move them on or let their contracts run out. But everybody that you brought in has to match that intensity and come in with, you do extra work, you show up early, you stay late, you're driving the bus. We can't have a bunch of passengers. But he asks that, he demands that, and you just see, like, day by day the buy-in just increases.
Last couple of questions here with the sporting director, Brendan MacArthur. We bounced around this one last week. We didn't get to you with it. Tony Scholes, the big addition, at least publicly, it's been perceived as such across, Twitter, X, Facebook, whatever you want to, wherever you get your media. It's a big addition from the owner's side of things, which you also are in the USL Championship. What does that addition mean for the USL Championship and the next steps of the pyramid?
You know what, I don't know. I haven't connected with anybody in the league about it, so I don't know the exact plan and how it all integrates, but I know just on a personal level I was excited about it because it just makes you kind of dream, right? It's like a new player, and like, where can this go and what great things can come from this? And I'd love to see the league making moves that are forward thinking and moves that are saying, like, kind of making statements. We still have to go slowly. We have to take each step properly and make sure that we go forward sustainably. But that's the kind of hire that you feel like there's credibility in a room. That's credibility when you call a federation. Everything about that excited me, even if I don't know exactly what's meant to happen next.
We kind of bounced around this as well in El Paso. We were talking, and you talk about the home game, you talk about the table and where everything ended up, and now a week later you have a playoff win. You're looking at a potential conference final, and a crazy turn of events. Although you won't host a home playoff game in the first round, there's two teams on the other side of the Eastern bracket that you could host a final against, and there's an Orange County that's going to play New Mexico that you could host a game against in the next round. This all boils down to me, what does success in 2025 look like to you from just the broader scope?
Success is just winning. I mean, once you've started into a tournament, you want to win cups. And we tell the players, we tell everybody, like, success for us is cups, it's trophies. That's what we're trying to do. We'd love to play at home. Like, I'm not going to obsess over that or think about it. Like, you have to win tonight, and then we'll see what happens. But if it means you win and you got to go play somewhere, then okay, we'll go do that again. And, you just take whatever is put out in front of you, and you just make your best with it, and just keep trying to win. We're just trying to create a legacy of just continual winning, so that when you think about Phoenix, you think winning, and now we're trying to get that back to where we can do it in the regular season as well as the postseason. But success can be a lot of different factors, but I think we're at a place now where we feel very good about the first year of this project, that a lot of things have been successful, but you want the results to completely follow it as well.
At a place now where all their goals are in sight. Phoenix Rising just a couple of steps away from a potential second USL Championship title in 3 seasons. They have to win tonight, though, on the road in Tulsa, searching for a win against a side they haven't beaten in 2025, unless it was a penalty shootout. We'll talk about the keys to the game next on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tires simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
You're listening to the pregame warm-up on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
Back here in Tulsa for Phoenix Rising in the postseason, looking to push their way beyond FC Tulsa on the road in the USL Championship Playoff Western Conference semifinals for the pregame warm-up show tonight on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network and exclusively on KTUS AM 1060 on the dial. Ryan Sikora, Kevin Cardez. Keys to the games in this one. Phoenix might have to go 120 tonight. Tulsa proved last week they were very capable of doing that, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a shock to see this one go to extra time. Phoenix and Tulsa are two teams that match up very well defensively. They're going to run into each other's blocks. Phoenix needs to find a way to dig out 90 or 120 minutes, whatever it may be, against another team that you have coined Phoenix as a mentality monster. They need to find a way to match Tulsa's intensity as long as they need to go, whether it goes to a penalty shootout or a goal in extra time. They need to find a way to dig out a win the entire way through.
Tulsa is good. No team in the league has gained more points from losing positions this year. No team in the league has given, no team in the Western Conference has given away more points, less points from winning positions this season. That's the task that Phoenix Rising faces. They'll also face Taylor Calhera and a very direct Tulsa team.
Yeah, Taylor Calhera is sort of, the perfect striker to throw against a team like Phoenix. This is a very direct FC Tulsa. This is a team that's going to go right at the central center backs of Phoenix Rising. They're going to attack that back five. Taylor Calhera and his 15 goals are potent. He only had 3 touches in the box last week against Colorado Switchbacks. They need to get him active and early as well to find a way to get that opening goal.
No team in the league is as direct as FC Tulsa. One of the most direct and dynamic sides in league history. That's the challenge tonight for Phoenix Rising, with kickoff quickly approaching from Oklahoma. We'll come back with the first kick here from One Oak.
Zuzuchukwu's in. Arteaga!
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app. James Out West, you're in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. Each day at work just dragging on. Get your sports fix on the lunch break. Join Chris Schubert and producer Evan live as they give their local perspective on the world of sports. Baseball, football, and basketball. Everything has a home on their plate. It's the lunch break with Chris Schubert, live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060, on the KDUS 1060 app, and KDUS 1060 on YouTube.
Let's get into the action. Phoenix Rising Soccer, live now on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
A stadium's sweet roar on this Saturday night in the USL Championship. 8 teams remain in the second division of American soccer, playing on the second weekend of November, one of which is Phoenix Rising Football Club on the road in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to take on the #1 seed in the Western Conference. The #1 seed remaining in the USL Championship postseason tonight on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. Second playoff game in as many weeks for the visitors. 7th consecutive game on the road for Phoenix Rising in the postseason, dating back to 2023. Ryan Segura with Kevin Cardez here from One Oak Field in downtown Tulsa. Kevin, this is a statement moment once again for Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, everything on the line for a Phoenix Rising team that has gone through so many iterations and so many evolutions, that has had so many different forms of this team. They feel like they have the perfect combination with the personnel provided in the perfect moment. November soccer, having an opportunity to do it here in Oklahoma.
And they will have the chance, as you put it, to do it here in front of what could be a massive crowd on hand to watch the best team left in the league. We go to Mahirson Hassan, the third member of our team, down on the touchline for more.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. The city of Tulsa has rallied around their top-seeded team with more than 7,500 people, making up a record-setting attendance versus Colorado Springs. Head coach Luke Spencer said after the game that the team took a moment before that matchup just to see it, and they encouraged everybody to make it back next week. Flash forward to next week, in other words, today, and Phoenix Rising is looking to play spoiler once again. The message from head coach Pamadou Ka is simple, as he said, quote, "When you step into the arena, there is only one thing to do, be a gladiator." And I asked one of those gladiators, Charlie Dennis, who had the game-winning penalty kick against El Paso, what is it like being in this road underdog role? He spoke for the entire team. They said they love it, they love the energy, and it makes them push for more.
Mahir, thank you so much. We'll hear from Mahir Sinhasan more throughout this presentation of postseason football on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. Kevin, it's a difference this week, though. It's 3,500 last week in El Paso in front of a crowd that will certainly eclipse 7,000 tonight. That's the challenge that Phoenix Rising will face on this Saturday, November 8th. Wreathed in red, moving left to right on your dial, we are off and running from Tulsa as Carl Saint slings one forward. It's claimed by Tyler Derrick, the goalkeeper of the home side in all black this evening, who are in their traditional 3-4-3 shape. Derrick in all pink, the goalkeeper for FC Tulsa. Patrick Rakowski, the goalkeeper for Phoenix Rising, is in green. It quickly goes out of touch just about 20 seconds into the match for a Tulsa throw. They will actually wave the flag early, and so it will be a free kick for the home team in their own half. The referee crew tonight, Brandon Stevis, leads the line for them in blue. The rest of the crew, Matt Trotter, Noah Kenyawani, and Corbin May is the fourth official. Derrick goes long. It's won by Charlie Dennis. Knotted down for Khalil Almedkar. Up into the box. Almedkar chasing again. Cleared by Carl Saint. Second ball won by Phoenix. A rip-roaring start on this Saturday evening. A ball in behind for Darius Johnson into the attacking third. He's taken off of it and drifting away. Lamar Bautista clears. Giordano Kali wins the second ball. He clears down the line. This will stay in touch for the run of Almedkar, who's still on it, ever working. Now Owen Dam, and then Taylor Calhera, but he took too heavy of a touch before he turned away. It's a goal kick for Phoenix Rising. And now, Kevin, I can finally get you the question from the open. The occasion for Phoenix Rising in front of maybe the biggest crowd we've seen them playing on the road against all year.
Yeah, occasion aside, this is one of these games where you have to quickly get yourself inserted into the match. That doesn't mean you need to score in the first 5 minutes, but you need to find a way to put your presence and make it known on this game. They are in front of a very, very raucous fan section here for FC Tulsa. They need to find a way to do something that says, hey, we're here to play as well, because right now it is so loud and it is all FC Tulsa.
Skiers on the ball for Phoenix. He steps forward and finds Aviyevu. Hope Aviyevu driving into the attacking third again. Cleared away by Lamar Bautista. Was looking for the run of Charlie Dennis. Now Tulsa have it in midfield. Skipping behind for the run of Owen Dam. He's just touched wide. Rafa Shihus, the center back for Phoenix, cleared it out. Tulsa throw, 3rd minute. Attacking half for the home team. 57 points on the year for the Scissor Tails of Tulsa. Travian Souza is the left back tonight. He's got the throw. Darius Johnson has come to mark him. He is hobbled. These are a couple of players for Phoenix early on. Long throw from Souza. A late addition to this Tulsa squad as they chase the title. From the left side, Souza with a beautiful long throw into the box. Wanted Pierre. Headed away by Shihus. Finds the feet of Jean-Eric Morceau for Phoenix Rising. In the center circle, Charlie Dennis touched away. Bautista shoved him to the ground. Free kick Phoenix. In the 4th minute, Rising in the attacking half.
And Darius Johnson was trying to sort of shake off some contact. It looked like his left ankle just stomping at the ground, trying to get his cleat to, hold on to whatever happened there. It's going to be important to note that, because last week in El Paso was just as physical and aggressive. It was a long, long game, and they were battling from start to finish.
Charlie Dennis will take it 55 yards away from the goal of Tyler Derrick, who had been the backup goalkeeper for most of the season for FC Tulsa. Arrived about halfway through it. Dennis's service, lofted into the air to the far post, headed away on the first time by Bautista, pushed back in by Morceau, and as Darius Johnson rose to find it, he found Tyler Derrick, and too much contact means a free kick for the home team inside their own 18-yard box. First real offering for Brandon Stevis. Doing the research this week on the referee crew. Phoenix Rising last 4 matches it has played when Stevis has been in charge, Phoenix has lost. Omen, if you will. Derek will go long on the restart. 5th minute, 0-0. Skiers out of the air, claimed on the second ball. Sweeping forward is Ian, the starting center back, the Brazilian, finding the feet of Owen Dam. Taken off the ball by Morsu. Morsu, Dennis, and Asela Senge in his own half. Spinning is Jean-Eric Morsu. And it's laced long, too far out of the stretch of Ryan Flood, who starts for the 3rd consecutive match for Phoenix Rising, out wide on the left. More touches for Tyler Derrick, the goalkeeper of FC Tulsa, Kev.
And there's so much pressure on the guys like Ryan Flood and Asela Senge, who are once again stepping into wingback roles in which they are not normally playing. Whether it's Asel, whether it's Ryan Flood, they are filling in for Colin Smith and Daniel Flores. So much pressure on them to not only defend really well, but also help progress the ball, because they cannot access that final third if they can't find channels through guys like Ryan Flood and Asel.
Both these teams missing a good chunk of regular starters for this postseason match, such as the wane of the season. 38th match for Phoenix, 39th for Tulsa. No Boubacar Jallo for FC Tulsa, no Marco Serrato. That's the starting double pivot for Luke Spencer and his FC Tulsa team. Morsu in the middle, has it for Phoenix. Cleared away by Delence Pierre, up over the top for the run of Dam. Popmar Boy sees to it, and Phoenix will step on it with the feet of Rafael Shihas. Blocked away by Tulsa, and now they will have it in the attacking third. Wide right, Lucas Stauffer crossing in. Headed away by El Medcar. Down it goes, middle park. Jamie Weber, the midseason acquisition for the Scissor Tails. He steps on it in the right half space. Attacking third on the right side now. Heels on the touchline, Tulsa. Stauffer again, defended well by Avayevu. Wide right it goes. Looking to serve in is Owen Dam on his left. In for Calhera, headed away by Shihas. Game very firmly being played in the Tulsa attacking third. Offside flag will come up as Taylor Calhera started in an offside position and then came back onside. There's also a player down in red, JP Skiers for Phoenix. 7th minute, scoreless. Tulsa pinning Phoenix into their own half. This is what Luke Spencer and the Scissor Tails tend to do.
Yeah, and you see that, like the way that you're talking about the game being played free-flowingly, but also they're going to be extremely physical. FC Tulsa loves to constrict, and they love to play a very tight and physical game of football. You're going to see stuff like that happens where JP Skiers goes to the ground because I think he got a little bit of a head-to-head up in the air trying to find the ball. There is not one player from this 11 on the field for Tulsa that won't do that every single time, whether it's on the air or it's on the ground. Duels, tackles, challenges, everything is going to be very, very hard to win right now.
The number to know for Tulsa, 11.1. It's the average length of a pass played this year. That does not sound like a lot, 11.1 yards. Yet somehow, it's the 5th highest in league history, going back to 2015. So they send the ball long, and they will do it all night. Avayevu spins away from trouble, got through Weber, finds the feet of Charlie Dennis, who goes through the legs of Weber, and now for Avayevu again, and Ryan Flood, early service. Bautista got there first for Tulsa. Miscleared by Dam. Avayevu gets a touch on it, and then on the second offering, Owen Dam slices one over the top to be swept up by Carl Saint, the central center back. Tonight for Phoenix Rising, 4th straight start since returning from international break for Carl Saint. He's on it, he steps up, he plays a pass, it goes out of touch. A poor decision from the Haitian Carl Saint. And Tulsa have a throw on the right side in the attacking half, 45 yards away from the frame of Patrick Rakowski's goal. Minute 0-0, Tulsa on it, trying to steady the rhythm of this conference semifinal. Travian Souza, and now Khalil Ahmedkar, no foul as they play advantage. Ahmedkar is down. He was hurt, stretchered off even in the quarterfinal match against Colorado Springs Switchbacks that went 120 minutes. Lamar Bautista fouled as he ventured forward by Charlie Dennis. You don't want to give set pieces to this Tulsa team. This one, not of too much threat, 45 yards away, but 45% of the goals scored this year by Tulsa have come from dead balls. Giordano Colli plays it short. Now slung in, again looking for the run of Ahmedkar, away by Asenge. Calhera dueling. Owen Dam, it's cleared acrobatically by Popmar Boy. An overhead clearance by the Senegalese. Tulsa forced to go all the way back to their goalkeeper, Derek. He finds an outlet in Ahmedkar. Colley and Dennis won it defensively. Throw in Tulsa midfield.
Phoenix needs to find some rhythm here. It's been all Tulsa this entire time. 10 minutes of straight FC Tulsa ball. Phoenix can't maintain possession. They're not accessing their wingbacks. Selasenge hasn't taken a touch in the buildup. They need to find a way to get something positive going because right now it's all Tulsa banging on the door, and they're in the final third an awful lot.
The pace has been breakneck, and that favors the home side. A foul on Owen Dam. We'll see JP Skiers fall to the ground. Phoenix have the free kick. Flicked along Shihus, and then Aveyevu, and now for the run of Darius Johnson. Quickly into the attacking third, Rising. Top of the box, Hope Aveyevu. Now Charlie Dennis stepping to his right foot, cleared away. Not yet, now it is. Dennis had an inch of space, but no more than that. And now Owen Dam. And Jean-Eric Morceau cut it out. And can somebody please just hold the ball? Skiers, Flood. The answer is no, as Ryan Flood gives it away. And then Tulsa immediately clear it. Out for a Rising throw. Defensive half, left side. 11th minute, 0-0. This ball has not been in the pass of a single team for more than 10 passes yet in this match. Darius Johnson, he had it, and then he lost it. Now Lamar Batista, the center back. His head is up. He's looking long. He has no runners. Over the head of Selasenge. Phoenix Rising, another throw, Kevin.
Interestingly enough, it looks like Hope Aveyevu shifted out wide left, and he's done that at times in the shape, but I feel like over the last few weeks we've usually seen Darius Johnson be that winger out on the left-hand side. Hope Aveyevu sort of floating as a false 9. Instead, it's Darius Johnson who's chasing as that 9, and I think he's staying there in attack as well, so a little wrinkle that's been changed over the last 7 days for Pamudu Khan crew.
Carl Saint challenged with Jamie Weber, out of touch. Throw in Tulsa. Free kick, Tulsa?
Sure.
Didn't hear the whistle from Brandon Stevis. They will play it short anyway. Will not make much threat of it. 12th minute, 0-0. All the way back for Tyler Derrick, the goalkeeper again. Long he goes, up for Owen Dam. Second ball is Senge in his own box. Boy clears for Phoenix. Delancey-Pierre touching down. And then furthered along by the home side. Lamar Batista, Travian Souza. The Aussie Giordano Colley given away, but that was because he was fouled by Morceau of Phoenix Rising. Two tape wrists of Jean-Eric Morceau. Plays in his 7th match for Phoenix Rising in all competitions tonight. Free kick for the home side right at midfield. They can loft this one in if they choose. Goes short. Colley to Batista. Off the foot of Charlie Dennis, out for a throw. Lamar Batista will go long, looking for the body of Taylor Kelleher on the throw-in. Popmar Boy won it. Selasenge clearing long. Batista keeps it in touch. Colley touching down for the home team. And then lifting wayward, to be claimed by Ryan Flood of Phoenix. Good find with Morceau, under pressure. Only option to turn toward his own goal and go backwards. 13th minute, scoreless start. The Captain Boy on the ball for Rising. Away from home for the 7th consecutive road game in the playoffs is Phoenix Rising. They are 5-1 in the previous 6. Long come Tulsa into the box. Calhera chased, Rakowski got it.
This press from Tulsa is just so aggressive, Ryan. Everybody on the ball for Phoenix is getting pressured within 2 seconds of the ball hitting their boots. There's nobody who's free. Everybody for Tulsa shot out of a cannon. Everybody so united, and it's totally destroying the buildup for Phoenix Rising through the first about 15 minutes. They need to find a way to string something valuable together because right now, whatever they're doing is just not working.
Darius Johnson on the ball, center of the park. He turns to the left. He drives forward. He's taken a ground. No foul, says the referee. Crew, it will be a throw-in for Phoenix, though. Attacking half at One Oak Field. Fast start in the third of 4 USL Championship games to kick off in the league quarterfinal, conference semifinal phase of the 16-team postseason. A win over El Paso Locomotive in the first round for Phoenix 1-0, an 86th minute penalty from Charlie Dennis. Got Rising here. It took Tulsa extra time as the #1 seed to beat Colorado Springs Switchbacks at this stadium last Saturday. 120 minutes of full-on effort from both sides. Stefan Lukic, the difference. Rising have it with Asenge and his countryman Jean-Eric Morsu, the two Cameroonians connecting. Asenge again, ripped off the ball by Souza. 15th minute. Still scoreless. You get the feeling we will stay that way for most of this match. Patrick Rakowski is on it. He's nearly dispossessed by a pressing Taylor Calhera in his own area. And now Aveyevu is on it. Good pressure from the home side. And a foul on who? Brendan Stevis has yet to point. He still is yet to point. There's a Tulsa player down on the ground. It looked as though there was no foul from a Phoenix player. It will be a free kick for Tulsa, based solely on the body language. This will be of danger. 30 yards away from Rising's goal, Tulsa have a free kick. Kevin, you just got a second look at it.
I'm not seeing it. I mean, there's contact, but it's contact from both bodies. They're both battling for the ball. Aveyevu is just as confused as I am. I'm not too sure, and this is a dangerous free kick, eerily close to the one that Jamie Weber put in about a month ago. It went viral on the USL Championship page. Pretty sure Men in Blazers posted it too.
23 goals from dead balls this season. FC Tulsa, second in the league in that category. Only Louisville City with more. In the 16th minute of a scoreless match, Phoenix Rising have opted for a one-man wall of Hope Aveyevu. Everybody aligned at the edge of the 18-yard box. This strike will come 30 yards away from the foot of Jamie Weber, the South African. $1.1 million valuation across the globe. Weber plays it short to the feet of Taylor Calhera. He's away from the box, and now he's got to cross it all the way back to Jamie Weber, who will miss-hit one to the feet of Morsu. And now looking over the top is Jean-Eric Morsu, too heavily hit. And Tyler Derrick is on it in the 17th minute. That would be almost described as wasteful from one of the least wasteful teams in the league there, Kevin.
Going short there, I don't really get it. I mean, it's a poor touch from Calhera, who gets bullied off the ball by Ryan Flood, and then they have to play backwards, and then it's a poor cross into the box that Morsu just cleans up so well. But that was, especially with the one-man wall, so confusing, but as well was the confusing choice for a one-man wall from Phoenix. So I don't really know what happened there, Ryan.
Confidence-inspiring stuff from the analyst.
I try.
The man who knows all knows nothing.
I mean, tell me what you know about that one. That was mind-blowing to me from both sides. What's not mind-blowing is this crowd. It is packed.
It's getting there. You can't quite hear it right now, but it ever so often erupts as Tulsa forays forward. You can kind of hear him. Derrick goes long after a long wait. First ball won Calhera, second ball won by Kali of Tulsa. Asenge read it for Phoenix and is now rushing forward. Asel Asenge, feet of Jean-Eric Morsu. Lamar Bautista battling in the area. That ball is out of touch for a goal kick. Last touched off Morsu of Phoenix Rising in the 18th minute. Another long ball from Tulsa on the goal kick. Up against Skierce, Calhera. Skierce won that battle. Bautista second ball. Calhera wins it again though. Flicking along El Medcar, won by Boy. Phoenix Rising survive another onslaught of long balls. They go forward themselves, kept in touch by Charlie Dennis, the Englishman on his left foot, driving to the byline, defended by Bautista in the area. Back it goes Asenge. Asenge's shot stings off the body of Travian Souza and ricochets out for a corner kick. Phoenix Rising will have a corner kick in the 19th minute to look to take a lead. Every dead ball matters. Every chance you get to take a touch into the area, so pivotal in these postseason matches. Charlie Dennis, 6 goal involvements in the last 7 matches for the Englishman. He'll hit an in-swinging ball from the right side of Rising's attack. He'll have to wait, though, as Darius Johnson has found his way into some kind of shoving match inside the 6 that Brandon Stevis does not enjoy. Second chance for Charlie Dennis. He'll strike one well, cleared away by the big bodies of the home side. Only as far as Morsu for Phoenix Rising. And now Carl Saint. He'll chip one up, looking for Popmore Boy. Bounces about in the box, and Tyler Derrick has claimed it out of the sky.
This game, if won during regulation, will be won on moments like those. You mentioned how important it is to make the most of your chances to chip balls into the attacking area. Tulsa got bodies back so quick. Charlie Dennis looked like after an extremely acrobatic touch to keep the ball in touch and in play on the near-hand side, was swarmed and immediately had to turn around. I haven't seen Charlie Dennis turn around in the box in months. He was immediately pushed back, had to play a ball back, and luckily Aselasinga got a corner out of it. They will struggle with that all night long. This game will be won off of some corner or something from the spot, but Tulsa is so quality at getting so many bodies back so fast. You just saw it there with the best attacking player that Phoenix has on the pitch right now.
Tulsa goes long, Derrick lofting over the top. Found nobody, throw in Phoenix, 21st. Left side, Ryan Flood has it. He's taken too many steps. That's why the whistle pops. Beautiful night, 60 degrees in downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma. Phoenix Rising, one of 8 teams left fighting for something in the USL Championship in 2025. They went on the road last week in El Paso, a 1-0 win. And they do it again in Tulsa and make it to a Western Conference final. Carl Saint in his own area, back for Rakovsky, first time clearance for the goalkeeper of Phoenix. Wants Avayevu, corralled by Ian, and won by Tulsa. On goes Derrick, out of the air Saint. Touchdown by Weber, ran into a wall of Skeers, cleanly won by J.P. Skeers, and Phoenix will rush 4-on-4. Skeers wide for Darius Johnson, just outside the box, in the attacking third. He's muscled away by Ian, the Brazilian defender of Tulsa. And back for Flood, and Phoenix will elect to keep. Couldn't find the rhythm. 22nd, Saint, center circle, wide left, Shihas, the best creator at the back for Phoenix. Long Avayevu, headed away by Tulsa. Phoenix Rising throw left side. One-time RGV Toros goalkeeper Tyler Derrick getting the start tonight has had a lot to do to begin this match. J.P. Skeers skipping a line. Nobody was there. Delence Pierre is on it for Tulsa. He's found Giordano Colli, and long he went. Scooped up by Rakovsky. Rising goalkeeper. Has Phoenix ever approached 430 minutes without conceding a goal? It would be by far the longest this late in the season for Phoenix in some time. You have to go back to 2021, the last time Phoenix Rising entered a postseason on a shutout streak longer than 300 minutes.
It's so funny how the tables turn around, because I remember the doldrums of 2024, there was that stretch where they hadn't scored themselves in about 400 or so minutes, and it was the feet of Joel Margarita who broke that against Loudoun United. It was the biggest breath of fresh air.
Owen Dam is on it for Tulsa. He took a step over and ran into Skeers before Shihas stole it off the winger of FC Tulsa. Back for Rakovsky and long for Charlie Dennis. If there are 2 words you will hear aplenty tonight, it will be long and one. A game that will be defined by the duels throughout the park.
Phoenix just needs to find a way to test Tyler Derrick. This is a guy who has pedigree, over 100 MLS appearances with Houston Dynamo over the years, went back and forth between them and RGV, started the entire 2015 season for them, won a U.S. Open Cup with Houston Dynamo, but he's 37 years old and he's only played 2 games in 2025. Find a way to test the guy who hasn't played a whole lot this year.
Shihas long, Derek scoop it up off his chest. That's 36-year-old Rafael Shihas. 35-year-old Rafael Shihas off to the 37-year-old Tyler Derek.
2 clean sheets, though, in his 2 appearances.
Yes, he's very good. And you can, have the evergreen age stuff as a goalkeeper. You can play well into your late 30s. Down for Dam, he handled it. Felt kindly at the feet of Calhera. Because Owen Dam knocked it off his right elbow. The other thing that will matter tonight for Phoenix Rising, the relationships out wide. Charlie Dennis and Asela Senge have been very good and growing along over the last couple of weeks. Mahirson Hassan is down there on the touchline with a little bit more on those 2.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Earlier this week, Mamadou Kak called Asela Senge and Charlie Dennis 2 long-lost brothers, and they definitely look like it so far. A little bit more direct than usual, but overall, both of them have had a good stint on the ball. They've had their positioning very well on the pitch. Charlie was talking about it earlier this week, how he had to adjust with Asela Senge sliding into that right wing-back spot versus Colin Smith, who's been out over the past couple of weeks. But both of them have done well, with Asela Senge having experience as a 6 and Dennis playing multiple times as an 8 this year.
Mahir, thank you. Phoenix Rising has the ball middle pitch. I wonder how Mahir's neck muscles are doing. He's moving around a lot. Watching this ball go left and right and left. Phoenix has it. Morsu's driving, and trying to drive a ball in. It's cleared away by Tulsa. Out for a Rising throw in the attacking third. 26th minute. Not much to this match so far. Senge, a long throw into the box for Dennis. By the byline, ripped to the ground. No, says the referee Stevis. Probably very little to that. Lamar Bautista and Charlie Dennis making themselves well acquainted here through the first almost half hour of this match.
Mention how nothing's going on, Ryan. This is just a USL Championship epidemic right now. 3 playoff games going on, 1 at halftime, 1 in the 63rd minute. Nobody scored a goal.
So that would make it now 11 games, 11 matches we've played. We've seen 6 goals across 8 games in full and 3 half games, if you will. Who's going to wake up? Who's going to have the difference makers in the big moments? Owen Dam, down for Tulsa. Medkar had it, lost it. Ryan Flood, Lamar Bautista stepping for the back line and rifling forward, out of touch, Rising throw. Possession stats in this one through the first 27 minutes, just a shade in favor of Phoenix Rising, 51.4%. We have seen 1 shot. It belonged to Phoenix. It came inside the box. A far cry from the already 8 fouls that have taken place in this match. Physical as ever. Morsu forward. Won by Delence Pierre. Over the top for Owen Dam. Knotted down by Flood. Feet of Skiers. Stripped of it by Weber. Jamie Weber has it for FC Tulsa. On the ball, the Scissortails. Racing forward to Delence Pierre. Tripped up by Charlie Dennis, who was just running with him, but definitely caught Delence Pierre. And Brandon Stevish will have a conversation with Phoenix Rising's number 12.
Brandon Stevish telling Charlie Dennis, you're done. He mouthed it 3 times, you're done. Got a warning on that one. You have to imagine if there's another foul called in Charlie Dennis's direction, there might be a caution that comes out of the pocket, but a very clear, very readable 2 hands out and a that's enough, you're done, and a point right to the chest of Charlie Dennis.
Stevis has had his way with Phoenix Rising at times this year.
That's
the
a
referee.
kind way to put it.
He was the man in charge of a match earlier this year in California's northern coast in Monterey Bay. He sent off 2 Phoenix Rising players that evening, Carl Saint and Pop Marboy, the captain, and then was the manager for Phoenix Rising's trip to Orange County in Southern California and sent off Pop Marboy. He has sent off Rising's captain twice this season. I'm sure Phoenix was not happy to see him. Foul in the middle of the park goes in favor of Phoenix as Owen Dam tripped up Hope Avievu. Rising a free kick right at midfield. Tulsa trying to get this crowd going. Phoenix trying to keep it silent. Not much to cheer about for either team yet. Avievu Skips a line, Dennis. Feet of Johnson, well cut out by Weber of Tulsa. Flood missed it. Calhera's on it, and he's sprung forward trying to find the run of Almedcar. Avievu, no, Marboy. And then Almedcar won it back. And Souza into the box. And you can hear the Vuvuzelas rise as Patrick Rakowski scoops it up inside his own 6. Khalil Almedcar is down on the ground, and the referee will stop play. We'll check on Almedcar. He's again stretchered off the field in an in-game incident last week. We were very surprised to see Khalil Almedcar on the team sheet tonight, let alone starting for the home team.
Talked about Khalil really early on in the season. Match week 1, talked about how he was such an important addition for a Tulsa team that really struggled to score goals in 2024. Guys like him, guys like Taylor Calhera, who had won a gold boot in MLS Next Pro just the year before, guys like those smooth operators in the final third. They need Khalil, they need Calhera, they need guys like that, and they found Jamie Weber too.
Phoenix Rising needs Hope Avievu, who scooped it up and is driving forward. He stings one from distance, blocked by Bautista. And cleared forward by Tulsa. Here is Taylor Calhera, the lead goal scorer this year for the #1 seed in the Western Conference. Oh, and Dam ripped to the ground, fouled by Rafa Shihus. Free kick Tulsa, who want to play quickly, won't get the chance to. Khalil Almedcar described as a top priority in the offseason by his manager, Luke Spencer, the youngest in the league. USL pedigree with Loudoun United, North Texas, in the last half decade for the 25-year-old. Tulsa plays short. Ian, the exact opposite of Almedcar, never played in the United States before arriving in late September to be an important piece for Tulsa's playoff run. Over the top, he's slung one, looking for Dam. Cut out by Flood. A shove in the back of Ryan Flood as he pushes the ball into the feet of Morsu. Now Dennis, first time Asenge in his own half, and for Pop Marboy in the defensive third. Long it goes for Delence Pierre to win. Late challenge, Morsu. Reckless from Eric Morsu. He's in pain. Delence Pierre is in pain. 32nd minute, 0-0. Ugh. A disgusting collision from 2 players right in the middle of the pitch.
Waiting now with bated breath, Ryan. That was a really hard challenge from Eric. Both guys going right to ground. Interested to see what the decision is from Brandon Stevis. Sort of all eyes on what comes out of the pocket. It looks like a yellow card, just a caution. Tyler Derrick, the goalkeeper for Tulsa tonight, came over to Stevis, and another extremely readable comments from the lips of another player on the pitch. He goes, "That's a red. That's a red." I don't think so.
Has Phoenix gotten away with one? I'm with you on that one now.
It's definitely a clear-cut caution.
Morsu can't believe he's gotten a yellow card for that.
Charlie Dennis is telling him to stop and turn around and walk away. Maybe it's sort of a split body down on the field in terms of we got away with one and hey, that was wrong.
We're getting a second look at it here. You can't see it if you're listening to us, but he comes in, slings the right foot right at the driving Pierre.
He catches the toe of Delence Pierre. I think that might be what he's a little upset about. There's no shin-to-shin contact there from Eric into Delence. Sort of just catches the outside of the cleat, but it's a clear foul at bare minimum for Morsu.
Yellow card for the Cameroonian, 20 years old. He's the first name in the book. Player who's played each of the last 460 minutes coming into this match tonight for Phoenix Rising. He will be important in a middle part of the pitch where the battles will be very prevalent. 33rd 0-0. Tulsa go long and out of touch for a Rising throw, Kev.
And a yellow in the 33rd minute for your most aggressive defender is something that you're going to sort of hold your breath about if you're Palmetto Kai. You don't want that to turn into something later on. It's super early.
Clipped in by Tulsa, who've won it back up for Rakowski to claim high in his own area. Goalkeeper has it for Phoenix in his hands. A pretty rough-looking midfield in terms of the substitute options as well for Phoenix Rising. No Xion Emmers, Noble Akello really the only senior midfielder on the bench for Phoenix Rising tonight.
Jamison Payne.
He's technically a senior player, but he is 17. Has the senior contract. Following through is Tulsa, finding the feet of Calhera at the back post. Souza! Oh! You could hear the crowd erupt, but Travian Souza whiffed. Foul, surely, yes. Calhera and Weber, I believe, came colliding into the body of Charlie Dennis of Phoenix Rising, who has stayed on the pitch. He has not gotten up yet. Phoenix Rising's number 12 now being helped up. You could just hear the moment for this crowd of over 7,000, certainly. As Travian Souza found it on the back post, but could not find a way to fire a shot off.
Eerily similar to the goal that Arthur Rogers scored to draw up Phoenix Rising in the hunt, where they were just trying to get back on track. It was sort of up and down. They were coming off of a big-time win streak, and Tulsa found a way to thwart some last-minute magic from them. As the players are moving the pitch around.
Are we taking a hydration break?
Check the temperature.
60 degrees here in Tulsa. No, there's an injured player. It's Tyler Derrick, the goalkeeper.
Huh.
70 yards away from where the ball was in the 35th minute, the goalkeeper for Tulsa has found himself lying on the ground. The backup is Johan Peñaranda, who has been the starter for the majority of the season. There is not that much of a drop-off. You could make the argument Peñaranda is the better player, but Tyler Derrick is in real pain in the 36th, the goalkeeper of the home side.
We made a big deal about the contract that Peñaranda signed going into 2025. A lot of chatter about that multi-year deal that they gave him. He's extremely talented. They rely on him a lot.
Derrick stretching out his right leg.
Maybe hamstring. It's one of those things that sort of just catches you when you're not the regular starter week in and week out, and you play a game like this and you're running and stopping hard, trying to track and sort of keep your angle shut off. It's not a shock to see something happen like that. Just try to keep it warm. They're going to keep him on the pitch, and I think that he's good to go.
He kicked the ball too hard?
It's a chance.
Overextension?
It's a violent sport. Found Waldo.
I don't know. They found Waldo in the stadium during that break, so good for them. All the players are back on the pitch. Phoenix Rising have the ball at the feet of Carl Saint, looking to start up. Chip it long for Hope Avievu, chesting down the number 10 of Phoenix. And back for Rafael Shihus. Saint, center of the park. Shuffles beyond Calhera, whip wide Shihus. Left side Phoenix, they hug there. Johnson, Colley, lots of colliding. Tulsa's come out the better of the two teams and are running forward before switching play fullback to fullback. Souza, Calhera, and Morsu just about defensively did the job. And now he'll stretch forward. Won fairly by Tulsa though. High they come. Stauffer. And Charlie Dennis launches it right off a media member.
That's Izzy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Isabella Duran, one of the photographers for Phoenix Rising. Friend of the program, I suppose. 38th. Still 0-0. Nothing in this match other than breakneck pace. No real offerings from anyone. Travian Souza's long throw has a lot of muscle behind it as he launches one up to the penalty spot. Pop Marboy rose highest. Morsu touched it to the ground. Ian has it for Tulsa. Foot race, Asenge hasn't seen it out. Sosa, no foul. This crowd is suffocating at its best. Long for Darius Johnson, one out of the air. Finally done by Delence Pierre.
Phoenix is going to be glad to go the other direction into this crowd on attack, because right now they are so loud, and the way that they pop and erupt when Tulsa starts to enter that final third is deafening, and we're super far away. I can only imagine what it is for the guys who are defending right in front of the goalposts.
Two shots, both belong to Phoenix Rising tonight. That's it. Avievu touched it out of play.
but it doesn't feel like they've been the aggressors. It feels like Tulsa has been the one to access the final third. They're just a little mistimed. They've had a few balls that have slipped past that back line. They've had opportunities to find the man on the back post. A common theme during the true doldrums of 2025. Phoenix needs to find a way to close those gaps.
36% of this match has taken place in Phoenix Rising's third. You're having a good night if it's 20% of the match in the opposition's third. Tulsa is doing everything but breaking Phoenix Rising at the moment. But in a playoff match, you survive. You take your lumps, you don't concede, you're doing a good job.
Owen Dam and Ryan Flood having a little verbal shouting match to the point where Brandon Stevis had to walk over, wave a finger at both of them and say, stop that one more time, we're gonna have a problem.
40th minute, 0-0. Tyler Derrick's on the ball for Tulsa. Lopavievu trying to bait him into making a mistake, but Derrick is just standing there as the two play cat and mouse, and finally Derrick lifts long for Calhara to flick on. Shihus, and a foul on Calhara as he bodied through Morsu. Slow to get up is Jean-Eric Morsu of Phoenix Rising.
Something that we haven't really talked about enough, Ryan, in my opinion. Carl Fred Saint being shifted into the central center back role, not Rafael Shihus, is interesting because at times Carl Fred Saint has been the shaky passer, but they've elected to have him run through the middle and be the decision maker, whether it goes left or right or forward, and the play starts with Carl. That's a huge show of confidence from me, from Pamadou Ka to Carl, saying, we know that you can operate, we know that you can find the best pass, you just have to do it in the playoffs, an extremely elevated environment for the Haitian International.
Long ball over the top. Two players are down on the ground. One is Aselo Senge of Phoenix, the other Lamar Bautista, or rather Travian Souza of Tulsa.
I think a head-to-head contact.
A second look at it. Senge and Souza, his forehead into the back of Asenge's head. Spot on there is Kevin. Training staff will come out for both of these teams. It'll be a busy night for them. I have to wager.
Such a brutal 2-week stretch here for Phoenix. Not like it hasn't been for Tulsa either, but that game in El Paso cannot be overstated. So physical from the first whistle all the way to the end. Even that red card coming out for Frank DeRoma, there was so much intensity and emotion from both sides. Both of them trying to just survive and advance. El Paso with their home playoff game, being led by Cabrera, trying to get out of that first round. Phoenix Rising not trying to repeat the mistakes of 2024, and it all came together in extreme intensity. This one feels no different, just bodies on the ground, so much contact. Brandon Stevis, the man in the middle, the one to sort it out. So much for him to do tonight in terms of not just calling the fouls, but trying to lower that level and make sure that the game doesn't get out of hand.
It's been a picture-perfect postseason if you like stuff that just looks murky. Don't know why you would, to be fair.
Murky is a good way to describe it. Still no goals in the first round.
Second round, technically.
Second round, my apologies. 12 minutes away from kick.
I would imagine New Mexico gives us some firepower with Orange County. That one feels like a powder keg. 82nd minute, North Carolina, Rhode Island, 0-0. 52nd minute, Pittsburgh, Detroit, 0-0. 42nd minute, Phoenix, Tulsa, here 0-0 as we are back underway. A long ball from right to left from Rising, racing into the attacking third for Flood, who crosses high and missed by Darius Johnson. Claimed by Derrick, long he goes. Goalkeeper to goalkeeper exchange, it would seem is coming, and it has. As Rakowski gets it inside his own area and plays on the ground to Carl Saint. 43rd, scoreless. Long from Saint, run from Johnson. Won by Pierre. Second ball, Flood, couldn't find it, Ian clears. Calhara touching down, he was offside. Much to the disapproval of Luke Spencer, his manager. FC Tulsa caught off guard there.
Just such a tennis match is the way that I'd describe it, Ryan. You're going back and forth, you're going up and over the net, that half line, and sometimes you're sending a hard volley, sometimes it's just a soft one to get the other team off guard, but right now it's just back and forth, goalkeeper to goalkeeper, not much strung together possession in the middle.
Morsu couldn't connect with Skeers, and JP Skeers pays the price for that. The ball was given away to Jamie Weber, and JP Skeers had no other options but to rip the South African to the ground. Second Rising player in the book. JP Skeers is one. Sean Morsu, the two midfielders for Phoenix Rising. Yellow cards in this match. 44th. Yards away from the goal mouth of Rakowski. Tulsa, another free kick. Jamie Weber will look to serve it in. He's got the most touches of anybody in this attacking quadrant for Tulsa. Drives the ball up, spilled by Rakowski for good reason. He was fouled. Lamar Bautista came crashing in to Pat Rakowski, and as the German touched the ground, the whistle blew from the referee. Phoenix free kick in their own 6-yard box.
Rakowski got murdered there in the box. That was really hard to see for Rakowski, but he gets up and shakes it off. He has been a warrior the last month in specific, but a really impressive 2025 campaign for a man who sat on the pine behind Rocco Rios Novo as they went all the way to a title. Listen, this is an inspiring performance from him, and there's so much riding on the shoulders of Rakowski because he's been in a battle from the first game trying to be the starting goalkeeper this season. At times he lost it to Tristan Henry, but when it matters most, he's won the job and he's on a clean sheet streak, so good stuff.
Taylor Calhera is on the ball for Tulsa. He's been stripped of it illegally by Carl Saint. Free kick for the home side in a similar area to the last, 45 yards away, just on the right side of the pitch. I mean, that is the 18th foul in this match. First half, by the way. 4 minutes of stoppage time. It's flown by from One Oak Field. 2 shots for Phoenix, none for Tulsa. Giordano Colli stands over it. In this Western Conference semifinal, winner advances to the title match in the West. Back post Bautista, over again. Calhera, away by Charlie Dennis. Blocked by Colli. Phoenix have a throw in their own third.
It's zipped by, but it's been heart-stopping from the first whistle. This is a game that will be won on the margins. Phoenix Rising feels firmly on the back heel, but they can go into the locker room with a little bit of momentum if they make the most of this 4 minutes of stoppage time. They need to find a way to make this extra time on the watch count. It starts with Ryan Flood on the touchline.
Take down an FC Tulsa team that have been absolutely unbeatable at this park this year. Avievu, one to Johnson, one by Colli, swallowing through, and feet of Owen Dam, defended by Morsu, who must be careful here. Morsu to the ground, throw in Tulsa. Tulsa team, best home record in the West this year, 33 points, unbeaten in 13 consecutive home matches in the league dating back to April the 12th. That's how ridiculous the Scissor Tails have been at One Oak Field this year. A shorter throw now, Weber from outside the area. Up at the back post, Calhera nodding along, ball went out of play. The cheer is for a goal. The goal will not count. Taylor Calhera's flicked on header trickled over the end line before the ball went in the back of the net. 48th minute, still 0-0 in Tulsa.
Heart-stopping for Phoenix Rising, as has this entire first half. Poor play, but the ball just goes right over the touchline. It's kept just in touch by Khalil El-Medkar, and it's banged into the back of the net, but it just doesn't matter because it drifted over the end line. Rakowski breathes a sigh of relief. Bodies all over the ground right in front of the net for Phoenix and for Tulsa, but the biggest beneficiaries of the entire thing, Phoenix, because somehow it's still 0-0.
Rakowski goes long on the goal kick. It's won by Tulsa out of the air, and Hope Avievu fouled Jamie Weber, who had won the ball. So the referee will bring it back. Tulsa free kick. Final minute of stoppage time in the first half. It feels wrong to say. I don't really know what's happened in this game. It just feels as though nothing and everything at the same time have occurred. Owen Dam was out of touch. Lucas Stauffer couldn't keep it in. Captain tonight for the home team.
It's hard to tell because we've played 48 plus minutes now, and although Phoenix has more shots, I believe still, Tulsa has been the aggressor, but nobody has a goal, and it feels like everything has fallen flat. Just 20 minutes of the ball being in play between both of these teams, and I can tell you the entire 45 that has been played has felt like the ball has never left, because for some reason nobody can manufacture anything but everything all at once.
And the second half will be just worse.
Yeah,
I'm
it
sure
will.
From a Phoenix Rising perspective. Charlie Dennis finding the space for Rafa Shihus. Ryan Flood running onto it. Couldn't reach it in time. One touch from Flood as he wins it back high and forces a Tulsa man in trouble. Out for a Phoenix throw. This will be the final moment of the opening half. Played into the area by Flood. Whiffed on by a Tulsa player. It'll fall to the back post for Sousa. And 2 whistles from Brandon Stevis. In a half that is certainly one of the weirdest in the 4 years I've been a part of Phoenix Rising Football Club, Kevin Cardes.
Yeah, I've never seen a team like Phoenix sort of win the shot battle, win the expected goal battle, and yet feel so back-footed the entire time. Phoenix isn't out of this game, and they're not being played off the pitch, but Tulsa is so aggressive, and they're finding ways to access the final third, but when it really gets down to it, they're not creating the chances. So you have one team in Phoenix that's struggling to progress the ball, and they've had a couple moments in front of the mouth of the net, but haven't really manufactured much, but somehow still have more shots, somehow still have more expected goals. But Tulsa, the team that is the lower factor in both of those categories, has been the one that has felt like the villain. They are the ones throwing the punches, and in front of a raucous home crowd, they feel like they have control of the rope. But we talked about this last week, Ryan, in a 0-0 contest at the time going into the locker room between El Paso and Phoenix. PaMotoCon 2025, a masterful leveler puller, my apologies, what a tongue twister, in the halftime locker room. He needs to find something, because right now they're finding nothing on the pitch.
So as we step aside here in the first half from Tulsa, a scoreless start in this one. Before we take a message from our sponsors, we will take 10 seconds to pause for stations to identify themselves here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. We'll be back with the second half.
Zuzuchukwu's in. Arteaga!
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL Champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app. James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. Each day at work just dragging on. Get your sports fix on the lunch break. Join Chris Schubert and producer Evan live as they give their local perspective on the world of sports. Baseball, football, and basketball. Everything has a home on their plate. It's The Lunch Break with Chris Schubert, live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060, on the KDUS 1060 app, and KDUS 1060 on YouTube.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tire simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
Now we go back to the field to break down the first half action with the Rising Radio Halftime Report on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. Scoreless after 45 minutes in Tulsa. This is the halftime report from One Oak Field. Ryan Sikora, Kevin Cardez, Mahir Sinhasan, all on hand for you. Mahir, I want to start with you. You were down there at the touchline. You got a good look at the manager of Phoenix Rising walking off. What did he look like? Because to us, it didn't look like he was too happy.
Yeah, it's hard to describe it, Ryan, because it's not an anger type of discontent. I would say it was just solemn. The way I put it on my sheet was ethereally frustrated because he's calm. He's still in the moment, but you could tell that the first half was not going his side's way, and he wasn't happy by it. Phoenix Rising was stuck in their own defensive third, trying to clear the ball away, and it felt the same way for the players, too. They were very neutral. They weren't really frustrated that much. They were just, looking forward to the second half and whatever happens after that if we have to play it.
We probably will at the rate it's going. Kevin, by the way, ethereal. Extremely delicate and light in a way that seems too perfect for this world.
I would describe Pamadukah
I
as
think
that.
Mahir just called the most aggressive fella I've ever met in football. A light, delicate human being.
Who seems too perfect for this world.
Yeah, okay. Now
For
the
getting-
football.
burying the lead.
The football on your end was definitely not too perfect for this world.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the stats just don't support a half in which it feels like Tulsa was the one to really put their foot on the ball and drive the car forward. Phoenix was getting slight opportunities to break away, but it just feels like they're disconnected. They're not battling well through the midfield, and once again, the wing-back buildup is poor. Ryan Flood and Estella Senge not contributing enough when they're pushing up the pitch, and that's a problem because one of the things that made them so expansive and so dangerous and so lethal was Colin Smith and Daniel Flores being able to travel, venture, and carry the ball forward into different thirds. Instead, Ryan Flood is playing a short pass back or a short pass forward, and the issue is the midfield for Tulsa right now is extremely compact. Your double pivot is on a yellow card. Morsu and Skiers both on a caution. So now if you're going to try to travel directly, you run the risk of maybe getting another foul, but also you can't go out wide. So maybe the answer is on the bench. I'm not too sure.
We'll get to the substitutions in a second, but first the stat that may really tell the story of this first half. Yes, Phoenix had all of...
But ever since that, they've been sitting back, and specifically, I've been seeing this back line essentially go into sweeper formation. All of these aerial duels are being met by J.P. Skiers and Jean-Eric Morsu, which is a problem because both of those guys are on a yellow card going into the second half. So if you're Pamadukah, you have to be very careful on how you select who is taking these aerial duels, who is having these certain challenges, because it could come back to bite Phoenix Rising.
So, Kevin, you mentioned the substitutions is the way Phoenix Rising can change this match.
Yeah.
Lay it out.
To me, listen, you don't have many senior midfield options on the bench. Noble Okello and Jamison Ping make up your only choices to go through. There's no Emmers on the bench. To me, you have to look to Isan Sako. I know that we've talked about him a lot. but he has been a terror in 2025. 7 goals for him and 6 assists. 13 total goal contributions in the championship, and they have needed every single one of them. Darius Johnson right now is having trouble on that left-hand side. I think that if Hope Abieva were to drop in and be that false 9 that they've had in the last month or so, and you push Isan Sako out wide because he has been a very good winger this year, you might have a little more success because Sako has played against very physical teams over in France. He's played very physical football over in Europe, and he has played very, very physical football this season in the championship. They need to find a way to get him active and involved, and he sits on the bench right now. That needs to change for the next 45.
So a postseason half to forget for Phoenix Rising, but still plenty to push for with 45 minutes or maybe more left in store on this Saturday night in Oklahoma. We'll step aside here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network and get you scores from around the rest of the playoff matches in the USL Championship.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tires simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
You're listening to the Rising Radio Halftime Report on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
Back in Tulsa in this postseason match. 8 teams left in the USL Championship season. Phoenix Rising 0, FC Tulsa 0 at the halftime report. Ryan Sikora with Kevin Cardez. 3 other games going on in the USL Championship here today on Saturday. 1 has gone final, and the goals finally bounced about in the Eastern Conference. It took late on in North Carolina, but Albert Dequa scored in the 81st and the 93rd as the 7-seed Rhode Island advance in the postseason. And with a 2-0 win over North Carolina FC, that'll be the end of North Carolina FC in the current iteration as we understand it. Kevin, Pittsburgh and Detroit 0-0 into the 73rd. I believe Pittsburgh Riverhounds have just scored to take the lead at home against number 8 Detroit.
Something must have gotten waved off. I don't know. I'm watching the game right now, and it goes in, but there's nothing on the scoreboard right now on the ESPN feed. So FOMOP thinks there's a goal. ESPN says there's no goal, and I wish I could turn it on and listen, but then you would hear it through my headset, so I give up.
And Augie Williams' header ruled offside in the 73rd minute to keep it scoreless in Pittsburgh. We've just kicked off in Albuquerque between New Mexico and Orange County. We will stick here to the start of the second half here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. We might as well. It's playoff time. Lots to get to. That Rhode Island win, a massive moment for Phoenix Rising. That Pittsburgh disallowed goal, a massive moment for Phoenix Rising, who hold the home field advantage over both Detroit and Rhode Island.
Yeah, so now there's another team that has home field advantage knocked out of the playoffs over Phoenix. Rhode Island, Detroit, Orange County. 3 teams of the remaining 6 teams that aren't Phoenix Rising in the playoffs now. have a lower seed than Phoenix do in terms of points that Phoenix could host at home. We've talked all year, home playoff game, home playoff game. We talked all last year, home playoff game, home playoff game. We talked about it in 2023, home playoff game, home playoff game. What a shock and kind of funny moment it would be if Phoenix got their home playoff game in a conference or USL final after the last 2 years they've had. But I think at this point, anything goes, and I'm not complaining if that's the case. So 2 hands in the air, okay.
A much bouncier version of Pamadou Ka has bounded his way onto the pitch, much less ethereal this time around.
Too perfect for this world.
Get set to go for the second half. So again, as it stands, Rhode Island is the first leg of a beautiful journey for Phoenix Rising that could potentially arise in the postseason. You're rooting for Orange County tonight against New Mexico. You're rooting for Detroit on the road in Pittsburgh. As we bring in Mahir Sinhasan down on the touchline to get us set for the second half. Mahir, what do you have?
Yeah, guys, we were talking about the home success and the atmosphere here in Tulsa earlier in the broadcast towards the top. I've been seeing it down on the pitch throughout that first half. The supporter section has been very rowdy. You even saw Waldo at times. I don't know where he is right now. He might have gone towards the bathrooms. But either way, this Tulsa crowd has come to play. They've come over here to show their support for their top-seeded side. And I think the other thing worth noting too, Ryan, a lot of people in the seats, but a lot of people not directly wearing FC Tulsa gear. So similar to Phoenix Rising, similar to playoff soccer and playoff sports in general, you have a lot of casual fans coming in and igniting this conversation on what attendance and what support looks like for FC Tulsa and Oklahoma soccer at large.
Mahir, thank you. As the fireworks blare again, the second half starts in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Phoenix Rising 0, FC Tulsa 0. Kevin, no changes for either of these two teams at the half. Phoenix Rising with 2 players on yellow cards in the middle of the park.
I don't think JP or Eric will come off the pitch if they play through 90 here. Maybe if they go to extra time. I think that they're both too important given what the options on the bench are. Noble Okello, I think, is more apt to slide into a sort of 5th center back role, just the way that he sort of fits the team. Jamison Ping hasn't really played a whole lot of professional soccer over the last few months. I can't see the midfield changing up with no Emmers. I think the front 3 will be the first thing to shift, but if nobody's making changes at the half, then I'd assume this goes at least until the hour mark.
Hope Abiyevu fouled Giordano Kali? Excuse me? Looked like Abiyevu was the one fouled. Just a minute in and we've already got more chaos, more players on the ground. Talked to Phoenix Rising this week, by the way, to your point there. And they did work on more of a 3-5-2 look with Okello in the midfield. Abiyevu contact, Kali contact, free kick Tulsa. Kevin?
I saw contact sort of to the groin area there for Hope Abiyevu, which is probably why he was keeled over, and I saw somebody crash into Hope Abiyevu. I can't see that one either.
Tulsa will have a free kick heading towards the far side of the pitch. Rakowski stands ready. The line for Phoenix at the edge of the 18. Jamie Weber casting a shadow in the 47th minute. Weber lifting high, lofting in, and it skips over everybody's head. Out for a throw-in? Goal kick. They decide in the end to goal kick.
Potmar boys down 2 in the box.
Everybody's down. Kevin, get down.
Dude, we're sitting down right now.
Oh.
We never do that.
I haven't seen anything to stand for in this match yet, frustratingly.
There was a goal that was called off for a moment.
This is true. 47th, again, Rhode Island 2-0 winners over North Carolina, the first to book their name into the Final Four of the USL Championship, 2nd consecutive year for the Anchor Boys in the Eastern Conference Final. Long it goes from Shihus. Touchdown, though, by Tulsa. Weber dribbled it out of play. Rising have a throw. On the left side, Ryan Flood still out there for Phoenix. A first half that saw just 2 shots, both of them belonging to Phoenix Rising. Made a late change, I suppose. 2 more added on for Tulsa, but nothing on target. Nothing happened in that match. No saves for the goalkeepers yet. Just a lot of fouls and a lot of the ball being played in Phoenix's half, as it is here. Overlapping run, Travian Souza off the body of Potmar Boy, who may have taken that one in a spot you don't want to take it. He is hunched over in the 49th minute in his own area. A Tulsa corner kick on the way, presented by Circle K.
This is just a hard watch, dude. Bodies flying, hitting the ground so hard, whether it's Marboy. I don't think he's holding anything from the ball. He's holding his right knee.
He's back up, and he's back inside the 6 to mark the tallest team in the USL Championship. 6'5" Lamar Bautista making his way into the 6-yard box where everybody is crowding Patrick Rakowski. Jamie Weber will swing one in from the far side. Brandon Stevis sorting the traffic. 0-0 game, short to Colley. Back for Weber. An angled service will come in on his left, driven well and over the bar. It was skied in the end, but a clear-cut chance for Ian, the Brazilian center back of Tulsa. Out for a goal kick, 0-0.
So dangerous from Tulsa there. Ian had a direct header on goal and just skies it up and over the crossbar. Phoenix, a big deep breath, but they got lucky with that one. Rakowski might have had a chance to save one if it was direct, but if that was angled a little closer to the top, that could have gone right into the bins.
Sousa taken off the ball by Morsu, out for a throw.
Just no cohesive possession for Phoenix. They go into halftime. I'm sure it was, a passionate halftime speech from Pablo Ducan, crew, and the technical staff. And for the first 5 minutes, it's been bully ball from FC Tulsa, just a complete physical domination of this opening portion of the second half.
Big carryover, the same story as the first half, as it is right now in the second. Boy wins the ball. Dennis clears. Nobody in the middle of the park as Jamie Weber is free to touch it down for Tulsa. Bautista skips through Dennis. And Lamar Bautista switching the play up for Lucas Stauffer. Away by Ryan Flood, and then Skierce and Hope Avievu. One high by Ian. Lots of contact. Avievu is fouled. Free kick for Phoenix Rising in their own half. In a match that, easy to say now, but really feels destined to go 2 hours long and 120 minutes of football on this Saturday night.
I don't think either team wants to go 2 hours either. If either side can find a way to get a goal and sit, obviously this is me saying that both teams want to win the game, but when it goes 120 in a playoff format where everything is so physical and every game is played so tightly, you don't want to play another 2 hour game because it could happen again next week and you're not even halfway through as it stands right now.
Owen Dam, Jamie Weber on the left side in the attacking half, under hit a pass for the overlapping run of Sousa. And now it's one high again, Bautista stretching the legs. Bautista ran into Pop Marboy, and it went off Lamar Bautista last for a rising throw, 52nd minute, 0-0. Kevin, I consider part of my job to read you information and see if you can dissect it for me. Tulsa have 20 more final third entries than Phoenix, yet 3 less box touches than Rising.
Back 5, staunch defensive work from a Phoenix team that, although it feels like they've been muscled.
Long for Darius Johnson. She has played it. Johnson latches on. We'll get to that thought in a moment. That's another touch in the box for Phoenix Rising as Darius Johnson has it. And now out of the area, Charlie Dennis. DJ out wide again. Heels on the touchline for the Grenadian. Right side attacking third. Scoreless start, 53rd minute. Senge and DJ again. Plenty of bodies waiting in the box, including the tall JP Skierce. Served in for Charlie Dennis. Knocked away by a Tulsa defender off of Delence Pierre. And another Circle K second half corner kick for Phoenix Rising. Charlie Dennis will take this one. And all the bodies will bound forward for Phoenix. Shihus, Boy, Skierce. Charlie Dennis to swing it away. 10 minutes into the second half. Dennis up for Boyd. Down for a Senge. Its shot is blocked. A foul in the box. Morsu! Oh! He caught all of it, caught too much of it, and lasered one 10 yards over the bar.
Second week in a row where Morsu's been at the center of an absolute bomb shot from his leg, trying to find that first goal in his Rising career, but man, Phoenix finally looks dangerous. What does it come off of? A corner kick. They're not accessing this final third very naturally, but they take another box touch, like you said. Going back to that thought from, what, 3 minutes ago now after all that action? Phoenix has done well enough to ward them away from the action areas that are considered dangerous, where you're going to get your expected goals, where you're going to get your shots. And although Tulsa has still, in my opinion, been the more dangerous team, Phoenix has done the right things to keep them out from being truly dangerous in terms of putting something on the net that's high quality, that forces Rakowski to make a save.
Tulsa on the ball in their own half. Lucas Stauffer put under pressure. He has to clear it out of touch. And Hope Aviyevu's good work has won a throw in high up the pitch for Phoenix Rising. 55th. Back for Rakowski. Every touch, every turn, every drive forward, a chapter in this postseason match. Every mistake magnified. Morsu's on it. He's somehow slithered through the challenge of Owen Dam. Feet of Rafael Shihas, clipping long for Ryan Flood. Headed away by Ian, and down by Skiers. And Aviyevu in good space, supported by Morsu. Hope Aviyevu just missed Charlie Dennis's run. Won by Tulsa, fouled by Dennis. Free kick for the home side in the 55th minute, 0-0. Rising over the last 5 minutes have found a little bit more of a footing. It's not saying much for a side that has had so little of the attacking opportunities in this match. But this is what Phoenix Rising has done throughout the year, grown into games in the second 45. Tyler Derrick will take the free kick for Tulsa. He'll lift it long, as they always do. Into the attacking third, missed by Dam, kept in touch by Stauffer. Defended finally by Skiers. Throw in Tulsa attacking third. Right side. Ian, middle park Weber, the smoothest of operators in this Tulsa team. Batista. Trevian Sosa on loan from Tacoma Defiance, the Seattle Sounders sister club. Lamar Batista lifting long. He's taken to ground, a late challenge by Darius Johnson, and a silly free kick conceded by Phoenix Rising. Tulsa will have it just inside the attacking half of the pitch.
These long balls are working out for FC Tulsa. They're accessing the final third. They're being dangerous. They're pressing into the attacking area. These long balls for Phoenix are not working out. They're losing that first header to the center backs of Tulsa. They are getting demolished in the air when the ball is right in front of Tyler Derrick. They need to find a way to push the ball in a more Phoenix Rising fashioned way. Find a way to access your midfield or flow through the channels, but right now, the long ball game up and over the top, they're not winning those headers, and ultimately just it extinguishes the action that they could get. If they were winning in the air, it would change everything, but right now it's just not happening.
Tulsa play the free kick short. It's won by Phoenix, cleared by Flood. Running onto it is Johnson, could not get there first. Ian found a way to stretch the legs. The outlet is Batista for Tulsa. He's taken a long touch and now a long look over the top for Taylor Calhera's run. Offside flag comes up from the near side official Noah Kenyawani. 57th minute, 0-0.
That header on goal from Ian ruled .678 expected goals there. Extremely close to just what a penalty is ruled by the expected goal makers. That was an extremely high chance.
You couldn't have rounded up there to .68?
Nope. Come on now.
Boy will take the free kick for Phoenix. He'll go long. It's become a rock fight. Phoenix have gotten themselves into more and more of those over the last month. They've kept teams out in the process. Now Medkar wanted Stauffer. Flood ripped him to the ground off the ball. It's a free kick for Tulsa. That is a foul. Ryan Flood just got right in the way of the run of Lucas Stauffer. Tulsa another chance with a set piece.
Foul number 26, keep it counting. 15 for Phoenix, 10 for Tulsa, now 16 for Phoenix.
Two teams stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. changes come for either side early on in this match. Giordano Colli to loft in. It's headed away by J.P. Skeers. Out of touch it will go. Tulsa throw. That's the thing with playoff matches, right? Hour mark of a game, you'd be looking to make your changes with 30 minutes to play. You might have 60 more to go. You don't want to make your changes too early. Still so much of this match to play. Giordano Colli clipping in, missed by Schihus, read well by Rakowski. And the German goalkeeper comes to his countryman's aid to claim the ball in the middle of the sky. Skeers, and Rising will build with Schihus. That's where they want to be. Avayevu on the left side, defended by Stauffer. Middle Park Skeers, feet of Charlie Dennis. Rips forward for the run of Flood, under hit, headed away by Ian. Middle Park Tulsa could not be kept in touch by Owen Dam. Rising another throw.
Not to harp on the fouls point too much, but we'll get this one out of the way. With that 15th foul that Phoenix committed, their season average in championship play, Ryan, 14.2. So we've already gotten over that. We have maybe another hour to go, depending on what happens.
26 in total. Calhera's stripped Dennis of the ball. Charlie Dennis has won it back. Tulsa's won it high again. Jamie Weber a ball roll. Jamie Weber at the top of the area. Edge of the box, looking for space is Elmedkar. It'll fall kindly again for Jamie Weber through bodies. It's blocked. Shunted free and out of touch. Calhera couldn't collapse to it, and it's out for a Rising goal kick. Phoenix gave it away, won it back, gave it away again off the edge of the area. In the 60th minute, Jamie Weber struck a shot off a body of a Rising defender, and Taylor Calhera nearly capitalized on it.
Just one of those games, Ryan, by any means possible. Tulsa firmly in command, it feels like, manufacturing the chances, getting the shots there. Phoenix just having to do enough to ward off that goal. If that's what they need to do for the next 30, maybe the next 60, so be it. But it would be nice if they could manufacture something to put Tulsa off their kilter, because right now it's all Oklahoma, and it feels like Phoenix just can't find that string, that passage of play to put them firmly back in command.
Everybody's been walking around this city all weekend with Tulsa versus everybody shirts. Those aren't FC Tulsa specific, but that's how this city feels about itself. And that's how this club is rebranded in 2025. Awoken, if you will. A sleeping giant across American soccer. A city that has had its roots in the sport forever, and again given away by Boy. Giordano Colli driving forward. Owen Dam ran into Schihus. And the wily veteran of Phoenix won it back for Rising in the 62nd minute. 0-0. Tulsa have had a professional team in its city since the 70s. Hadn't won a playoff match at home since 1983, before last week. It's been a long time coming for this city, this club, to have a sports team at the near highest level, really competing for trophies. Phoenix Rising foraying forward, driving just outside the area. There's a foul. It'll go against Phoenix, and a free kick for Luke Spencer's FC Tulsa.
It's a league based on miracles, it feels like, Ryan. Pittsburgh, with their playoff win in the first round, became, the Pittsburgh playoff professional team to finally notch a win in God knows how long. I think it's over 15 years that they were waiting for that playoff win. Couldn't get it done in the NFL, couldn't get it done in the MLB. USLC, that's where they're going to make their mark.
Long goes Tulsa, evergreen tweet, and it's herded out for a Rising goal kick, 63rd. A League of Miracles in another sense, too. Rhode Island was a brand new team the year ago that ventured to the final, fell in defeat. 2 years ago in 2023, Phoenix Rising, after missing the playoffs in 2022, played a Charleston team that had gained 30 points year over year en route to the final. And now a 20-point difference in 2025 for Tulsa. Phoenix have it on a free kick. They lift it long for Flood. He nods it down for Avayevu. Heavy touch from Hope. Ran into Ian, but Hope's pressure forced it out for a Rising throw. 5 paces off the end line on the left side in the attacking third. Phoenix, who have been outgunned in this match from start to finish, really, just looking for a moment themselves to react to reach out and touch. Flood goes back for Shihus. On his left, Rafa Shihus into the box for Charlie Dennis to turn. And it took a block on the way to the hands of Tyler Derrick. And Tulsa have it 0-0 with their goalkeeper.
So close there for Charlie Dennis. Can't tell if the shot got redirected towards the goal, if it was already on the way to the goal in Tyler Derrick, but that was just another proof of concept moment for the fact that Phoenix, if they're going to win this one or find a goal, in the 120 minutes that could be played, will be off of a moment, whether it's a corner or a throw-in or some sort of free kick on a set piece. They will find that opportunity, not from open play it feels, but from a set piece or something that they can manufacture in the stoppage of play. So close.
An attacking substitution in the 65th minute for Tulsa. The winger Alex DeLue, who scored against Phoenix Rising in the opening match all the way back in March, replaces the natural fullback Owen Dam. 25 minutes and change left in the second half. Potential stoppage time, potential extra time for Tulsa, and the home side the first to make a move. They've got the ball thrown long into the box. Headed away by Boy, claimed by DeLue. First real touches for the substitute, who about faces, pivots to the byline, won by Potmore Boy. Out for a throw. It was last touched off the Tulsa player. So Phoenix will have it down on the touchline. Mahir Sinhasan has more on this one.
Yeah, guys, we talked about the urgency at halftime that Phoenix Rising needed to show in the last 45 minutes. They've definitely shown it to start off the second half, and it's mainly been in the back with Patrick Bukowski, who's been communicating much more with the center backs. Even Rafa Shihus, one of those center backs, is wanting his fellow teammates to play with a lot more urgency, guys.
Mahir, thank you. Just feels like where this game is going. Two teams that are trying to keep the ball in the opposition's half. That's where all the threat can come. Tulsa are on it. It's a long ball in for Calhera. Claimed by Rakovsky. Morsu. Phoenix springing to action. Stripped by Bautista. Second ball. Morsu again. Up over the top for the pace of Darius Johnson, who's dragged to the ground in a 50-50 challenge. No foul, and then he shoves someone. Darius Johnson thought he was shouldered to the ground by Delence Pierre, and then he reacts by looking to the ref, slamming the floor, and shoving a Tulsa player. What color will the card be? The only question. This is the same thing that happened last week with Frank DeRoma, who was sent off for El Paso against Phoenix Rising. Brandon Stevis hoping to sort something out here. Surrounded by a group of red shirts, and now he'll drag Darius Johnson, the guilty party, with him. 67th minute, Phoenix Rising 0, FC Tulsa 0. Delence Pierre fairly challenged Darius Johnson according to the referee. It's a yellow card. Johnson, a yellow card. He shoved Lamar Bautista, who is now up, and I think has also been given a yellow card. He may have said something to provoke the moment.
Frank DeRoma FC, I'm sorry, because last week was a much more obvious extension of, well, a much less obvious extension of the hands from Frank DeRoma that got him sent off in El Paso. Darius Johnson threw Delence Pierre to the ground. I am shocked it's a caution. Yeah.
Waiting for confirmation on the Bautista side of things. To be fair, both these teams did a fine job there. That could have very easily boiled over, and it didn't.
Hope Avievu the one to sort of disassemble the growing pile that was early happening, and then Jamie Weber came in through Hope Avievu as well. But somehow everybody stays in their technical areas, and only yellow cards come out of the pocket.
Bautista put in the book for FC Tulsa. Wow, that could have really changed things around, and Bautista's on the ball.
Morsu has to be careful.
And Jean-Eric Morsu has fouled Bautista. A simple one, ticky-tacky, no yellow card. Into the attacking third goes Travian Sosa. Out of touch, rising throw. 0-0. Last word on this one for a while. You think Phoenix got away with one there?
Yeah. There was no foul called from Brandon Stevis on the contact that Darius Johnson was super mad about. He gets up, He throws Batista to the ground, 2 arms all the way out, throws him to the ground, and then he gets thrown to the ground by Delancey-Pierre. That could have been a double red if you're looking at it from another scope. Instead, it's no red, it's a double yellow. No one in particular, just 1-1. Everybody stays on the pitch, and Brandon Stevis says we're going to play 11-on-11 soccer, at least for a little bit more.
You need things to go your way in the playoffs. Charlie Dennis progressing forward, ripped to the ground. A foul on Travian Sosa of Tulsa. Phoenix have a free kick in the attacking third, level with the top of the 18-yard box. Charlie Dennis to serve in an in-swinger in a moment. We're in extra time in Pittsburgh between Detroit and Pittsburgh. 10th minute has come and gone, almost a half hour in. The New Mexico match, 0-0 there. Charlie Dennis directing the traffic, 70th minute of a 0-0 game. The left foot of the Englishman serves one to the back post for Shihus, back through traffic, and Tyler Derrick has it. Best moment for Phoenix Rising in the second half. But still scoreless. 20 minutes and change to go.
This is an opportunity for Phoenix to change the tide of the game. We talked during the preseason specifically, Ryan. Would last year's team have fought for each other as hard as we thought that 2025 would fight for each other? We saw it in the preseason against a team of essentially teenagers when St. Louis City 2 came to town in a scrimmage. They will fight for each other. In this moment where they come together and there's a huddle in the field and Darius Johnson throwing Lamar Batista to the ground and Delancey-Pierre crashes into Darius Johnson, this is your chance to fight for your team. They can totally turn this around. This is momentum if they make it right.
She has missed clear. Saint has it still, and now Flood slinging long, won by Ian, down for Weber. Still no changes for Phoenix Rising, just the one for FC Tulsa. That preseason match was in February, 9 months ago, almost to the date for Phoenix Rising. What a journey, what a long season this one has been. And yet the one constant for Phoenix from start to finish has been a flurry of fight in a 2025 group that has overcome so much. Tulsa themselves have turned around a franchise that had not made the playoffs in 3 seasons. They have all the fight in the world, the Scissortails do. A match that you just knew would come down to the quiet moments of the conclusion. Ian is long. He's looking for the run of Souza. It's won by Asenge, flicked along by Dennis, out of touch for a throw. 71st minute, 0-0.
You start to look now to the bench for Phoenix, and maybe they're going to make a change at some point here. I would think it's attacking if it comes. Darius Formella hasn't played in a game since September 13th. He played a minute against Sacramento Republic in a really important draw. Right now, if I were to point to somebody on the bench and say, hey, we need you, I don't even know if we need a winger. I think we need hold up play from a striker. And the one thing that Formella has done really good in 2025, chest the ball down, hold it up for a crashing set of wingers, and allow Phoenix to flow forward. They might need Darius Formella
Just
right now.
14 minutes since August 16th for Formella. That is an average of 0.8 per game. He has not played.
But he keeps making the bench. He's an option. They can go to him.
There's a stoppage in play to check on Popmar Boy, who is back up for Phoenix Rising. A foul in the middle of the park as Kali brought down Morsu, who has stayed out of trouble in this second half. The Cameroonian, Arik Morsu. Shihus, Aviyevu, grabbed by Weber, moving it along, and a foul. Late whistle. Well worked by Stevis, the referee, to see how that one played out. In the shadows of the downtown district of this Oklahoma City, one team will book the first ticket to a Western Conference final. That, as it stands, travels through this field, this stadium, this town. Tulsa control their destiny the rest of the postseason. Alex DeLue is on it high for the home side. He switched the play for Travian Souza, who took too heavy of a touch, and JP Skier swarmed to it. Charlie Dennis slipped, and Tulsa will recover and clear with Ian. Down by Almedcar, and then Calhera, and then Souza. Flowing forward to the Scissortails, cut out well by Popmar Boy, the captain. The league's youngest armband wearer in the 74th thwarts a Tulsa attack. Sousa He's on it. Attacking third, left side. Defended by Morsu. Won by Asenge. And then Morsu. Wanted Asenge again. Foul off the ball. Phoenix free kick in their own half.
Morsu with maybe the most delicate defensive pickoff there that has happened in this entire game. So fleet-footed, the way that he can get his body into the right position and just sweep the ball away, but keep it close enough to maintain possession or get it to a Rising player who's open and ready to move the ball. They get the foul off the ball, and now you can restart play. Where would they be without Jean-Eric Morsu? I have absolutely no clue.
He has been the catalyst for this run of form for Phoenix that is nearing 500 minutes without conceding a goal. Rising restart play in the 74th. In their own half with Skiers. Morsu. Saint. Under hit ball. DeLu will capitalize. And here comes Tulsa. Clipped in for Calhera. Lots of contact. No foul. Taylor Calhera went to ground inside the box. It might have been Jamie Weber in the space too. And the referee, Brandon Stevis, certain of his decision, no foul. It was Weber, Kev.
Jamie Weber's so dangerous. A free giveaway there for Phoenix. They're good for a few of those a game, it feels like right now. Maybe that's the last. You hope it is. Huge chance by Tulsa. They get the ball back again.
It's the thing Rising have kind of cut out of their game over the last month. Yes, good for a few, but few and far between since the start of October. Bautista's on it for Tulsa. Sousa. Slipped one into the middle of the park to be cleared by Weber. It took a deflection off Skiers. And so Tulsa have a throw on the left side. 75 minutes have been played in this match. And still no score. 0-0 in this Western Conference semifinal. Giordano Colli in midfield. And Lamar Bautista. Morsu on it now for Phoenix Rising. Hope Avievu operating through, cut out by Weber. Tulsa have it with Calhera, and there's a foul, I believe, on Morsu. Maybe Avievu?
Looked like Avievu.
Nonetheless, Phoenix give up a free kick to FC Tulsa.
We're over the 30 mark for fouls now. I believe that was foul 35.
Still 15 plus to play. Still no score in Pittsburgh. 100th minute there. Still no score in New Mexico. 36th minute there. Rhode Island sitting, waiting, watching to see who meets them in the Final Four. Tulsa the favorite the rest of the way across the league. The pressure at this point really starts to turn toward them, even though they've had most of the ball in the Phoenix half. They've controlled the tempo of this match. As this game goes on and on, FC Tulsa will feel the weight of the world upon them.
It's wild too because they have 0.8 expected goals in the second half. They don't have a single shot on target.
I don't know how that works.
Me neither.
Saint, he's in trouble. He's ran into three bodies. He's found Avievu, who's found a solution. It's Shihas, Skiers, and from left to right go Rising. Boy in his own half. Asenge slipped underneath his foot. Morsu cleared it long. Hope Avievu's made a run. He's taken too clean of a touch. He ran right into Pierre. And it's a Rising throw-in. The attacking third, 10 yards off the edge of the end line. 78th minute, 0-0.
These are the opportunities. These are the moments, the windows that Phoenix has for such a suffocating FC Tulsa performance. They still have the draw right now. They have the opportunity to find their moment. If it goes their way, it's going to be off of something like this. Here's the throw.
It'll be long, it would appear, from Asenge. He's looking for numbers. He didn't have them in the box, so he goes back for Boy. Crossing in, DeLu, awkward clearance, better done by Weber. It'll take 1, 2, 3, 4 hops to the feet of Patrick Rakowski in his own half. Rising a rhythm. Boy on the ball. And then Saint just stings it forward. Derek in trouble. Did a good job to find his feet inside the area. Claim it out of the sky. Ryan Flood was approaching quickly. Still no changes for Phoenix in the 79th minute. Just just the one for Luke Spencer in Tulsa. These two coaches who you could make the argument, other than Danny Cruz, nobody's been better than them in the second half this year at making changes, deciding games. Ball in the box is claimed by Rakowski. Tulsa had sprung forward quickly. No team other than Louisville City have scored more goals in the second half than Phoenix Rising this year. No team has had more goals other than Louisville City from substitutes this year other than Phoenix Rising. They've been so good as the game has reached its latter stages. Morsu on it. He has Avievu. He's found Avievu, who's been fouled, but now advantage for Phoenix. JP Skiers with a lot of room. What a sliding challenge. It was Ian who raced back and won the ball, and then Shihus ripped Alou to the ground. If this game ends 0-0, Ian will have just made the challenge of the game. JP Skiers was 4-on-3, running right towards the area, and was just chased down from behind by the Brazilian center back, just outside the box. Another change for Tulsa with 10 minutes plus to play in this one. Travian Sosa has done the job, and Harvey St. Clair will come in. So the fullbacks have exited the match.
No changes for Phoenix Rising. Tulsa putting Harvey St. Clair in there. Has a goal this year, but more particularly has a handful of assists, trying to find some service. Tulsa has been so close to manufacturing that final blow. They think a guy like Harvey St. Clair could maybe be the one that pushes it over the edge. Meanwhile, Pamadou Kas stands at the ready, and nobody is getting ready to come in for Phoenix.
Weber nodding along. Boy, Dennis in traffic. He's got to go back for Popmar Boy. The captain's in trouble. He's just going to clear it long. Up for Johnson. It's being grabbed. Darius drops down to the floor before launching a ball into the feet of Asenge. Marcelo Senge back for DJ. Outside the area, Darius Johnson slithering, sliding a ball into the box, headed away by Ian. 81st minute. Phoenix keep it high. Shihus, Rafa Shihus, wide for Ryan Flood. Left side, Avievu. Is this the moment for Phoenix? Avievu to the ground, no foul. Won by Skiers, who's won a free kick. Deleu chased it and got there late, and Phoenix have a free kick in picture-perfect Charlie Dennis range.
He was the player to watch for a reason, Ryan. You immediately check to number 12 for Phoenix, Charlie Dennis, the boy from Brighton, who has been so important to their rise, to their survival into the playoffs, to their slow carom all the way up the table, almost into the home playoff spot. This is the perfect Charlie Dennis moment, and he is well within range to put something onto the net.
He is 32 yards away. The left foot of the Englishman. Here's the whistle of the referee. Darius Johnson is there too. In the 82nd minute, Charlie Dennis strikes the wall and has won a corner kick for Phoenix Rising. It bounced off Jamie Weber, and in front of the supporters section, Phoenix Rising has a set piece to deliver. A Circle K second half corner kick from Charlie Dennis to swing away from the body of the goalkeeper, Derek. Everybody is inside the 6-yard box. Phoenix is number 12, lofting up, Avievu flicking on. Never a chance. Never a chance, out of touch for the goal kick. 0-0.
Every time Phoenix gets close, it just feels like they can't convert where it matters. It's not when, it's where. They're right next to the goal. You get the set piece free kick. Charlie Dennis just strikes the wall. You get the corner kick. It doesn't even make it farther enough into the heart of the attacking area to really test Tyler Derrick. Actually, Tulsa gets out of it. It's still 0-0. We're maybe 7 or 8 minutes away from going into another half hour of this. My heart rate is so high right now.
It feels like a Western Conference final. It's the only thing that really matters here. Two teams who want to make it to the third weekend in November. Calhera flicks along. Down for Morsu, poor header. Deleu, Colley's got a strike on him. He tried to go for the pass, and Asenge had it. Dennis ripped and fouled. Phoenix free kick, 84th. And Kevin, unlike last week, where when you looked to extra time late on against El Paso Locomotive for Phoenix Rising, there was a clear advantage on the depth.
I mean, Phoenix was up a man. El Paso was playing with 10, and Phoenix had a bench that had midfielders on it that they played more routinely. They had Emmers, they had guys that they could go to. There's 3 academy kids on the bench tonight for Phoenix. They don't really have a direct midfield option they could go to that like they have in the past few weeks. Extra time is more dangerous than it was in El Paso.
It's 3 academy kids, a 17-year-old professional who's hardly played due to injury the back half of the year. Flicked along by Tulsa, Rakowski ran out of his area to clear it. Up for Dennis, missed by Charlie. Second ball, Avievu, and now down for Phoenix. Charlie Dennis, Eric Morsu, and now Darius Johnson into the box. DJ looking for service, blocked by Bautista. Out for another Rising corner kick. The substitutes for Rising read all those kids, 2 goalkeepers. Isan Sacco, Noble Akello, Remy Cabral. Still on the bench for Luke Spencer is Stefan Lukic, the league's 2nd leading goal scorer in substitute goals. Charlie Dennis will swing in a Circle K, second half corner kick. Right towards Derek, runners ready, service is good, Ian's header was better. And again, DeLu and Morsu racing to meet. In the attacking half, Morsu could not connect with Dennis. 85th minute, 0-0 in Tulsa.
I think this 11's going to go all the way through. At this point, Palmetto sees perhaps a route where they have to play more soccer. Why would you make the change before then? My argument is because you want to win in a regulation. But thankfully, I'm not the manager. I probably wouldn't have gotten nearly as far. I think maybe 1 point. I could have maybe dragged out 1 draw in the course of 30 league games.
Mid-season acquisition, Trevor Amon is on the bench as well for Tulsa. Scored a boatload of goals a season ago for Sacramento. Fell out of favor with Neil Collins this year, so he finds himself a scissor tail. Giordano Colli lifting long, no runners from the home side. A playoff match that just puts you on edge tonight. Shihus skipping forward, the 35-year-old. Avievu missed it. Ian has it. And now Weber for Alex DeLu. Alex DeLu started the season. He strikes the shot blocked. And then he fouls Ryan Flood. Free kick Phoenix. Alex DeLu scored the first goal of the Phoenix Rising season. He scored it for Tulsa on match day 1 at 38th in Washington.
Dangers there again from Tulsa. Your heart sort of stops when they break on that counter. It feels like they're finding that line-breaking, block-splitting pass every time they get on the horse and run down towards Patrick Rakowski. But once again, enough bodies in the right place at the right time for Phoenix, and they do just enough to stop that final forward momentum that Tulsa keeps manufacturing. But you have to wonder, if they've struggled like this for 87 minutes, what about a potential next 30? Still nobody up to substitute for Phoenix Rising and Palmetto Ka.
Morsu long, hands of Derek. Ends up in the goalkeeper's mitts. Tulsa team that have built an absolute fortress in One Oak Field over the course of this year. As Derek drops the ball to the ground and invites the pressure of Darius Johnson. 87th minute, 0-0. Up for Shihus to win the first ball and the second ball. Poor clearance. Feet of Stauffer. Trying to make a difference is Lucas Stauffer, the captain. Dragged to the ground. No, says Stevis. The referee quick to calmly raise it, and then a yellow card to the captain, I should say, of Tulsa. Simulation from Lucas Stauffer. His name in the book.
Close one there, but just enough intensity from Marcelo Sengate. Push off the line, keep it in touch. Simulation. Charlie Dennis knew it as well. Immediately looked back towards Stephens and said, hey, surely not a penalty, maybe even a yellow card. Got exactly what he wanted and more.
At this point in time, last week, Phoenix Rising had scored its first. 1 of 6 goals across 8 matches the entire weekend. A playoffs that has been defined by the margins, the thinnest of them. Long goes Rakowski. Skeers heads forward. Dennis flicks along. DJ was onside, but Charlie Dennis fouled Lamar Bautista. He can't believe it. He's saying, I won the ball. He might have an argument, but the referee has made the decision. 89th minute, 0-0.
I thought that Darius Johnson being offside was the reason that the whistle was blown, but instead a foul against Charlie Dennis in a very closely officiated game continues to get closer as this clock drags into the 89th minute. You have to wonder whether both managers are hoping for the same thing. Allow me to maybe make a change in the next 30. You got to survive and get to that point first. I'm not sure how much stoppage time will come up. I don't think it's a ton.
Stefan Lukic is readying to come into this match, the hero of the opening round of the playoffs. Scored his 5th goal off the bench this year for FC Tulsa. He could likely come in for Khalil Ahmedkar. He's not done much in this match, the number 10. Tulsa has it, throwing in, feet of Kali, swept off the ball by Morsu. Phoenix clear, back for Derek. We are into the 90th minute in Tulsa. How much stoppage time will we get? Shihus chasing down a Tulsa attacker. He's given up a free kick at midfield. Long they go quickly. Saint chesting, Saint clearing. Weber touching down. Attacking half Tulsa. Sliding it across, cleared by Saint. Aviyevu dribbling, touching, turning, finding room. He's got Darius Johnson wide left. Ball roll from DJ, feet of Flood, and Johnson again, racing beyond Deleuze on a yellow card. Check that, no he's not. Morsu, he's on it. Now is Senge, just outside the box. Great move from Phoenix Rising. Dennis, Charlie Dennis, a touch wide, and now is Senge, middle park, Morsu. Jean-Eric Morsu, he finds room to shoot, it's blocked. Cleared by Stauffer. 3 minutes of stoppage time in the second half. That's it.
That was the most cohesive offensive action that Phoenix has found this entire game. They do it in the 90th minute. They still keep the ball. They're going to try to keep it rolling in the right direction.
Morsu finds Shihus, wide left. Long he goes for Flood. Clipped away by St. Clair of Tulsa. One high by Skiers, who navigates traffic and baited a foul from Harvey St. Clair. That's a yellow card, and he's the 3rd Tulsa player in the book. The substitute Harvey St. Clair is the 6th caution given out by Brandon Stevis. 3 for Phoenix, 3 for Tulsa. All 6 of them still on the pitch as we likely prod towards extra time. Into the 92nd minute, Phoenix a free kick. Charlie Dennis to serve in. 35 yards away from the left half space. 10 yards off the touchline. Everybody aligned at the top of the 18. A one-man wall of Alex DeLue. Rakowski with one right arm raised to the sky. The Englishman serviced with his left foot as he cast 4 clear shadows under the lights in Tulsa. A 0-0 match at One Oak Field, and we will stop play for just a moment so Brandon Stevis can sort out the contact. Shihus got bumped, Aviyevu got bumped, and Ryan Flood is being hounded by Lucas Stauffer.
You have to imagine both teams are okay with this.
And so again we go. Dennis's right arm to the sky. Charlie's service launched up and around for a Senge. It goes wide of the far post. A tame header in the end. And it's still scoreless with a minute to play at the minimum here at One Oak Field in Tulsa.
All eyes on the center referee, Brandon Stevis, and more specifically what happens off this long ball from Tyler Derrick. All heels dug in for Phoenix. All gas for FC Tulsa.
Long it goes. Out of touch for a throw. It'll be Tulsa's throw. Clock continues to tick. St. Clair down the line. Shihus keeps it in touch for Phoenix and then clears it long. This ball is last touched off Aviyevu. All eyes will venture towards the referee, Brandon Stevis, for the final 20 seconds or so of this match. Calhera handled, and while we have the chance, let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. While we were away, Brandon Stevis took matters into his own hands and blew the whistle thrice to bring this match to a conclusion in regular time. 0-0 after 90 minutes and 30 more minutes to come. Here from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Kevin Cardez.
Yeah, we'll play 2 hours. This has been a game that feels like it's been 24 of them. This is coming from the guy that drove 18 hours to get here. Listen, box to box, end to end, and yet still waiting for that one opportunity for Phoenix to really make their mark. Meanwhile, Tulsa just couldn't put the shot on the net. They had the expected goals. They have the stats saying, hey, these guys should be winning, but they couldn't put something on the nylon. Rakowski in the right place at the right time a few times to sort of intercept a few dangerous crosses and do the right stuff, but Phoenix has had nothing when it comes to attack. They need to find something. Still no substitutes at all for Phoenix Rising. You have to imagine something changes in this first 15.
We'll step away very quickly here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. Extra time on the way from Tulsa in a playoff match.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Buying a house can seem almost impossible, especially today. But with the right agent in your corner, it makes the challenge seem effortless. Hi, I'm Connor Cochran with Good Oak Real Estate, your go-to agent in the Valley. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Because finding the perfect home shouldn't be stressful, it should be exciting. Call 480-688-3200 today. Again, that's 480-688-3200. Let's have the conversation.
Hey Phoenix Rising fans, this is Discount Tire, your hometown tire retailer and trusted partner on the road for over 65 years. We know it can be overwhelming when buying tires, but we're here to help. Our online tire buying guide, Treadwell, makes finding the right tire simple. Just plug in your vehicle, location, and driving habits, and Treadwell will give you unbiased, personalized recommendations based on your needs, not based on price. Inviting, easy, and safe. Just how tire buying should be. Shop tires with Treadwell at discounttire.com. Let's get you taken care of.
Let's get into the action. Phoenix Rising Soccer, live now on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
So of course, in a Phoenix Rising season that's been filled with every single ebb and flow, we had to come to extra time to decide a winner-go-home match in mid-November on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. 90 wasn't enough to decide Phoenix Rising and FC Tulsa in the Western Conference semifinals. And so here we stand with 30 minutes and potentially penalties staring us right down our faces. From Tulsa, Ryan Sikora, Kevin Cardez. We'll hear from Mahir Sinhasan in a moment. Phoenix Rising and FC Tulsa about. It's just been everything you've needed. Tulsa have made a change. They're third. Stefan Lukic has come into the match. A goal scorer has replaced a goal creator. Jamie Weber is off. Or maybe not. Could have been Al Medkar. That would make a little more sense. More fireworks. This game has needed it. First half of extra time. 15 minutes each half is off and going. And Tulsa has it and has launched it forward for Calhera's head. And DeLue is on it. And Alex DeLue is coming forward. And he's serving in. And Shihas has cleared it. And Asenge furthered on. Weber has stayed on the pitch. And Khalil Al-Medkar has come off. A late decision as Weber left the field of play. And then Al-Medkar came on almost right after that. Al-Medkar came off almost right after that. 40 seconds in, Kevin Cardez. It's now just about a moment.
And it's about getting through this first 5 or 10 minutes because you're going into extra time, you're absolutely on fire, you're juiced up, you're trying to make that impact, but you're going to feel the effects of 90 minutes of soccer that came before this, and sooner rather than later, this game is going to slow back down. Do not let them attack first.
Tulsa ranging forward, stripped off the ball by Abievu, 92nd minute. Looking for the run of Darius Johnson. He's got a touch. Bautista's defending him. Charlie Dennis has it now. Turn to middle park. Morsu, heavy touch cleared by Pierre. Long for Saint. And down for Pop Malboy. Just a moment. That's all it's going to take as Bautista clears. Got ran into by Charlie Dennis. Both players are down on the ground. He will have to stop play to check on the head of Lamar Bautista. No foul. Phoenix will have the ball when we restart possession. Mahir Sinhassan's down on the touchline. Firstly, Mahir, how's your neck doing? I assume you've been doing a lot of moving?
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of craning too, and you know, this has been such a back and forth game between two sides that have had so much determination and so much grit throughout the season. You talk about Tulsa, this is a team that went 120 minutes against Colorado Springs last week. Luke Spencer said after that match that they want to be the team to go to distance. They want to push through. They want to be mentally tough, and the team that's together. Stefan Lukic, who has just subbed into the game, added that every single player contributes and is important. For Pamanuka, it's about the gladiators, like we talked about. He says that his players, they have the character, the will, the desire to fight for one another. It's remarkable.
Here, thank you. The man in the arena tonight, that will be one person. Someone will have their moment this evening. Foul on Abievu. Phoenix have a free kick in their own half, Kev.
It's just all eyes. Abievu now grabbing down at his ankle and his calf. You have to hope that he's okay. He went down really, really hard. Got seemingly injured against El Paso Locomotive a week ago, slamming the ground. See if Greg Spence makes the walk, but still nobody readying for Phoenix Rising substitution-wise. This 11, these gladiators that we hear talked about, are the ones that will persist, at least for now. To persist, like you noted at the top of the broadcast, is a privilege. Being able to play into this extra time, trying to find a way to make your mark. So Abievu sort of stumbles this one off.
Special night in this city that has waited for a moment like this. An important playoff match. Phoenix go wrong. Knotted down by Johnson. Feet of Dennis. He's taken off of it. And now Tulsa will turn forward. DeLu stretching the legs was Calhera. Saint saw it out. Throwing Tulsa left side. Attacking half, 94th minute. Man, oh man, the price you'd pay to be here tonight in this city. You've watched this group all year long. The #1 seed in the West, who were consistent from start to finish to earn this crown, and now have found themselves more consistent than any of the top teams in the league. The last remaining top 2 seed. Lucas Stauffer to throw it in. He's got a long one. It's flat. It's found the head of Skeers. Second ball, Alex DeLu. Back it goes, Jamie Weber. On his left, lifted wide and hit the referee. Oh. Brendan Stevish just shrugs off Lamar Bautista. Nothing he can do. 95th minute, Jamie Weber batted the ball into the back of the referee's head. So Tulsa will have it 30 yards away from Rakowski's goal, but have allowed Phoenix Rising to set its defense.
It's just unfortunate, though, for Phoenix to give up a free kick like that. That's not one that you really gave up. It was more the back of Brandon Stevis' head, but they'll play backwards. They're not going to use this one operationally.
Yeah, you have to, it's a drop ball rather than a free kick. You can't take it directly. Calhera, 1-2. Lukic, won by Saint. And a Senge in the corner. Blocked by Lukic. Seen to the feet of Saint, who goes long. Carl, airborne Dennis. Stays in touch for Kali, the Aussie. And now Weber, the South African. He's ran through Morsu, and he's found the feet of DeLu. Alex DeLu. Won back by Jean-Éric Morsu. Charlie Dennis, supported by no one. A man on his lonesome down the right side has found Darius Johnson, who was offside. A step ahead was the Grenadian.
Brutal break for Phoenix there. Charlie Dennis supported by nobody, but Darius Johnson got free down the line trying to find that chip forward, but just a step off sides. The pass connected with him too. Hope Abiewu was streaking down the left half space. Could have been something. Instead it turns into nothing, which has sort of been the theme of tonight.
Phoenix have it. After all that movement, they go long. Drop down by Tulsa. They take possession, middle park. Harvey St. Clair jockeying for position with Abiewu. St. Clair finds the space with Ian, the center back. Down the line he goes. Header won by Shihas. Feet of Calhera. DeLu. Calhera whipped wide left. Oh, just about dealt with by Asenge. And now Charlie Dennis wrapped up by Batista. No foul. Morsu. Batista. And in the middle of the park, Abiewu's taking a touch. Here comes Hope Abiewu down the right in a 97th minute. Abiewu ran into traffic. And a foul. A late whistle from the referee as Phoenix won it high. Free kick for Tulsa.
That back and forth, can't catch her breath attitude is just carried over into this extra 30. I would have assumed Tane maybe tired legs in some regard, especially for Phoenix. Not one substitute. These are the same exact 11 that started this game, and it feels like nobody's tired. Nobody.
Or is it just that everybody's tired at this stage of the season?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm sure they're all gassed, but running on pure adrenaline in the 98th. A penalty shootout to play itself out in Pittsburgh. Long goes Tulsa, won by Boyd. Down for the second ball, Jamie Weber of Tulsa. Wide it goes. Harvey St. Clair. Ducks beyond Ryan Flood. Serves in, three-header to Lukic. Touched by Asenge. Captain touched by Rakowski, and it was. Stauffer arguing his case, it was. 98th minute, still 0-0. They don't like that. Made a good angle.
Rakowski is so adept to keep the ball right on the chalk. Manages to keep his paws right on top of it, stops it rolling, keeps it out his chest, doesn't spill it, and keeps it in touch. Brilliant from the German.
Tulsa, they win the long ball from Pat. Second header, Shihas. Knotted down though for Alex DeLu. Center circle for the substitute. Jamie Weber, swung wide. Giordano Colli, the key creator of this team. Lucas Stauffer, the captain, on his right foot, up in the box. Calhera headed backward. Morsu, one high by Weber. Jamie Weber, strike just wide! Oh! And it took a deflection off a Phoenix defender. Deafening roar. Corner kick, FC Tulsa. It's brought to you in the second half by Circle K. Phoenix Rising have to defend the league's best set-piece attack in the 100th minute in extra time. 0-0 in Tulsa. The Scissor Tails to serve one in. Colli is supporting Weber. Colli will strike, and we stop play before it happens. And that will take the crowd out of it a little bit. Patrick Rakowski sorting the shoving. Lukic, Boyd, Batista. It's Stefan Lukic, Kevin, doing most of the work. I would imagine trying to create the room for the 6'5" frame of Lamar Batista.
Listen, just trying to use your shoulders, maybe use an elbow, push people away and open windows that aren't open when that kick is initiated. Find a way to get under the nose of Brandon Steps and make something happen.
They go short. It's in play. Colli, Weber on his left. Jamie Weber to the back post. It's Calhera there. Lukic flicking on. In the box it goes. It'll fall for Alex DeLu. Alex DeLu is cleared. His shot was wide and Dennis cleared it. There's a player down on the ground for Tulsa, and the referee will stop play and invite the physio on for the home side. Patrick Rakowski will tend to him in the meantime. A spurt survived for Phoenix Rising. Delitz Pierre is the player down on the ground. Phoenix Rising look primed to make their first pair of changes. On the century mark of this match, Noble Okello, all 6'5" of him, and Isan Sako, who might be 6'5" with his hair done all the way up. Set to come into the match for Phoenix Rising. 20 minutes left. Delence-Pierre is up. He will be certainly taken off the pitch and issued the concussion protocol test. Is Phoenix Rising ready their changes? Who will they be for? Like for like? Attacking changes? JP Skeers is off. Okello is on. Skeers on a yellow card.
That makes sense. I think that the move to go midfield for midfield and take somebody off on a yellow card, JP Skeers has been really, really good tonight. He's served his purpose. He's done enough.
And the other is Darius Johnson, who is on a yellow card and has been run ragged up front. Isan Sako replaces him. Phoenix's second leading goal scorer, the Frenchman Isan Nino Sako, into the match. Noble Okello, 6'5", deadly weapon defensively and attackingly on the set pieces. 103rd minute. When we restart play, we'll have a good amount of stoppage time for the first half of extra time, I'd imagine.
Absolutely.
Rakowski goes long. Saint won the header. Shihus won the second. And Ryan Flood has it in space. Tulsa's looking for options. It's flicked in for Sako, who's onside! It's blocked! Unbelievable! I don't think Isan Sako knew how much space he had. But as he turned towards the goal, he was in a real amount of room. Oh, and it's out for a corner kick. Oh no. A replay, Kevin.
I mean, Sako has a mile of space, and honestly, it's not that he did anything too late. It's Lamar Batista who saves the day for Tulsa.
Corner kick Phoenix doesn't even reach the first post from Charlie Dennis. They've not been good in that department tonight. Second offering, though, for Rising. Dennis defended, out of touch. Rising throw. Shootout in Pittsburgh is 2-2 after 3 takers. If you're a Rising fan with 2 screens on, you're rooting for Detroit. Phoenix would host Les Rouges in a final.
Gotta get through Tulsa first.
14th minute of extra time, 104th in total. A long throw from Ryan Flood is a good one. Up for Okello, out for a goal kick. Touched off the 6'5" Canadian last. So Rising made one change, and then a second. Noble Okello and Isan Sako trying to be the difference makers in this match.
Not enough insane things to say about Lamar Batista. On replay, Sako did nothing wrong. Lamar Batista got shot out of a cannon, and all 6'5" of him crashed into the shot from Isan Sako. He never stood a chance.
Down for Lukic, won by Tulsa. St. Clair had it and gave it away. Sako, what a throw for Phoenix Rising. Final 45 seconds.
You see the fresh legs factoring in for Phoenix now. Noble Okello, Isan Sako in the heart of the fray, trying to make things happen, jar the ball loose.
Dennis looking for Sako, too heavily hit. Rising's 2 changes have looked a little more inspired than Tulsa's 3.
I would hope that Sako looks a little more inspired on attack than Harvey St. Clair does.
St. Clair on a yellow. As you start to think about penalties, these 2 teams played each other in a shootout earlier this year, a U.S. Open Cup win. Tulsa Community College, if I'm correct.
Hurricane soccer and track field.
There you go. So not a community college, just a regular college. No, that'd be Tulsa Golden Hurricane.
Was it?
Yeah, it'd have to be. Lukic, fancy stuff. 105th, wide for St. Clair. Snuffed on the way through. Shihus down for Okello, who's in trouble. Noble dribbling out of play. Dribbling, and he ran into a wall before he could really leave play. Lots of contact. Throw in Tulsa. I think that was the lesser of 2 evils there. I did not see a sign for stoppage time here in the first extra time period. So we will play till the referee tells us to stop. We will stay here through the stoppage time, through the halftime interval of extra time. Phoenix 0, Tulsa 0. 106th minute. Jamie Weber to deliver. Everybody's in the box fighting for space. Weber's service is good. It will trickle wide. Out of touch. And now there's a breakout. Oh no. Off the ball, everybody rose to each other in a swarm. I was looking at the referee. Now the referee is looking at the bulk of bodies just outside the box.
I don't even know who started this little tussle in the middle of the field, but everybody came together, and Brandon Snow stepped back and said, okay, everybody separate. Everybody get away. I think it worked. I don't know if we'll see any cautions come out of the pocket because I don't know who saw what started what. But now the crew will come together and see what they can sort of collect informationally.
They've decided to just take us to halftime in this extra time. Sure. As Pittsburgh has just beaten Detroit in a shootout. Pittsburgh Riverhounds will host Rhode Island. Detroit in a penalty shootout. So right now, Pittsburgh and Rhode Island booked their tickets. New Mexico leads Orange County in the second half in Albuquerque. Greg Hurst scoring the goal to give them the advantage. Phoenix and Tulsa. The only one that really feels like there's something left to it. Plenty of time for Orange County, yes, but New Mexico have looked the best part of any side in this postseason. And now for Phoenix Rising, Kevin, you have one eye on the match. You have one eye on the little spot 12 yards away from the goal.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix has been a team that has been so confident at the spot in 2025. They have been mentality monsters over and over and over. You hear it again and again and again. And there were low points in the season. There were absolute valleys. And the thing that always came back and said, hey, we're really good at this no matter what. Could have been in Tulsa, could have been in El Paso, could have been at home against New Mexico. We know how to kick penalties. They have attacking talent that, you know, boasts at the top of the league. They have scored nearly more than everybody else. Louisville, the guys that stick above them, like penalties, spot kicks, penalty shootouts. They've been so good at them this season, but you still have 15 minutes to go until you get to them. You need to get through the next quarter of an hour, and preferably you don't even let it get to that point. Decide your own destiny. Find a way to score a goal. Go up.
0-0 in Tulsa. 9:23 local time. Somebody draw blood in the final 15 minutes. We're off and running. Ian has launched it. And Saint has headed it down. And a 50-50 is won by Bautista of FC Tulsa. Now Ryan Flood and Hope Avievu. Rafael Shihus slides the ball into the feet of the Ghanaian number 10 of Phoenix. Avievu, Flood, and then for Ryan Flood again. This is good stuff from Rising. Ryan Flood into the box, but not a good service. He just ran out of real estate. The Tempe kid did. Tulsa goal kick.
Dangerous from Ryan Flood. Finally, it feels like a Phoenix Rising player wins their first foot race in a long time against a Tulsa defender. Gets to the ball, but the cross and the service is poor. Got his left foot around on it. Another chance. Phoenix needs to keep doing that. That counter-attacking football, that's how they scored goals in this clean sheet streak. Find a way to do it again.
The best season in FC Tulsa history, hinging on 15 minutes of stoppage time, of extra time. They are already in the 106th. A penalty shootout looming large in this Western Conference semifinal. Tulsa have not lost at this venue in the league since April the 12th. Phoenix have lost just once in its last 12. Turning away, Tulsa's on it. Morsu couldn't cover. It's found its way into the bodies, and Asenge somehow got it out for Phoenix Rising. Giordano Colli. It's found its way to the feet of, yeah, there we go, Alex DeLue. The flag came up very late. It looked very clear. Noah Kanyuani got there in the end. Free kick Phoenix, 13 left.
Just everything riding on this, and you have to wonder, maybe Pamadou Ka or Luke Spencer will make some changes in terms of penalty spot takers. You have Formella on the bench. You have Remy Cabral, who's been your usual go-to penalty taker, who hasn't entered the game yet. You probably like him in the shootout as well. Those are the things that we'll start to think about over the next 5 or 6 minutes. Who would shoot from the spot? They're not there yet, though.
Lukowski to drive it forward on the free kick. Up there for Avievu. Header won by Delence Pierre of Tulsa. Down for Pop Marboy, who will let it go out for a rising throw. 108th. 0-0. And really, the best chance of this match fell to the substitute of Rising, Isan Sako. A brilliant block by Lamar Bautista of Tulsa. Captain scoreless on the night. Asenge into the box, wants Akello. Second ball, Hope Avievu just launched it into the air. Tyler Derrick, the goalkeeper, high points it and looks early and looks long. And he wants Taylor Calhera, who's bodied beyond Saint, but not Rafael Shihus. Forward Avievu, who that touch off. Jamie Weber defensively for Tulsa had the final poke. He's pushed over the touchline. Rising throw, midfield, left side. Up in the air. Dennis trying to get to it. Bautista won it. Isan Sako strike. He was skied high. Phoenix are readying another change. One that is certainly with an eye towards the marks. Remy Cabral, Rising's best penalty taker, is readying to come into this game. He will replace the number 10 Hope Avievu, who has not been spectacular in penalties in his career and has really been running from start to finish in this match. 110 minutes played. Avievu's night is done. The Frenchman Remy Cabral comes in for Phoenix Rising.
Now for the next 10 minutes, you have to watch Remy Cabral's pressing. That's sort of been his issue when he's played in long spurts in 2025, being the pressing trigger, but often being too eager to go up and try to make that first move. He needs to stay calm, stay patient, and only bite when it's asked of him. He can't do too much because right now, everything is riding on a defensive performance that's given up chances to FC Tulsa, but it hasn't given up a lot of shots. Don't let the action sort of start from the back if you're over-pressing or you're over-biting. Don't overcompensate.
Third change for Phoenix. All of them attacking-minded. Getting the yellow-carded players off the pitch. Avievu a little different. Rising looking to get a penalty taker on the pitch. 110th, she driving, he's fouled by Lukic. FC Tulsa 1-3 all-time in penalty shootouts as a club. Turning away is Ian. Did well to beat Remy Cabral. He put it into the middle of the park. Orsu, Akello, lofted high. Dennis, Bautista covered. Two this year in the shootout as well. Lost in a Jägermeister Cup matchup to 1 Knoxville. Kicks for the mark have not gone the way of the hosts this season. 111th minute, 0-0. Asenge to have a throw in for Phoenix Rising on the right side in its own half. Perfect 60-degree night of football. Noble Akello nods it off, one man for Tulsa. Phoenix will inch up the pitch.
Just bit by bit, trying to find that moment, but you have to do it in the other half of the field, taking their time, long throws, getting the correct choices, getting the correct calls. Offside flag goes up, though.
Maybe the ball went out of touch on the throw. No, which took a while. It was the offside flag. Looked along. Nope, maybe it wasn't. I don't know what's going on. The referees can't make up their mind.
I can't tell either.
They'll call it a bad throw.
Sure.
112th minute. Lukic, smooth operator, puts it behind. touch, Rising throw. Left side, Ryan Flood, who's managed to stay on the pitch this entire time. And Kevin, you look at the bench the rest of the way. Darius Formella is the only name that you could really call upon and say needs to be in this match.
I think there's a good argument for him, too. There was a reason why he took the penalty against Houston Dynamo all those months ago. He was the shot from the spot. It was a big-time chance to convert, and they did. They ended up equalizing Dynamo. They went the distance, 120 minutes against Dynamo as well.
Rising's worst penalty taker left on the pitch is
Potmar Boy.
He missed against El Paso in the Jägermeister Cup. Rafael Shihas on for Isan Sako, nodded back for Shihas, just missed. And now Tulsa could counter. A center back went forward for Phoenix and took the risk, and Noble Okello took it upon himself to make certain it would not happen. A yellow card for the Canadian. He's the fourth name in the book for Phoenix. That was a must, and he did his job.
Right call there for Noble Okello. Stop the counter, do what you need to do. You don't have a yellow card. You know that you're going to get it coming your way. Just put your hands out, just grabbed him. It wasn't a hard foul. Move on. Stop the counterattack dead in its tracks. Noble Okello does exactly what he needs to do. It's razor-thin margins, Ryan. It's razor-thin margins. Those are the margins that you think about.
Two players for Phoenix putting on shirts. One appears to be the 18-year-old Pierce Rizzo. The other looks to have the bearded trim of Darius Formella, Phoenix's wily 30-year-old veteran, who before the arrival of Rafael Shihas was really the oldest field player in this team. They'll both come in to take a penalty if we get to that point. 114th, Derek just kicks it away. Phoenix have the ball, back in their possession. 24th minute of extra time, 6 to play. There will likely be no stoppage this late in the match. The conclusion having been written for them.
That's not Jamison Pink getting ready. I don't know who it is, but the broadcast just showed him. Yeah.
Pierce Rizzo. That's the 18-year-old Pierce Rizzo.
Yes.
Away by Potmar Boy. Tulsa throw. They're readying changes too. And the referee will allow them to make them. A.B. Sissoko, the center back, is coming in. The club captain will replace the current captain, Lucas Stauffer. Swap there, and now certainly a change for penalties as Trevor Amon, the striker, will come onto the pitch in the 115th minute. Sissoko in for Stauffer. Amon on for Alex DeLu, who came into this match and is now taken off of it with 5 to play.
This is when things sort of get funky though, Ryan. There's so many attackers on the field, you start to take out defensive pieces, and pretty much anything can happen. There's a lot of breathing room left in the 5 minutes remaining in this one, and the personnel doesn't match any system.
Ball rolls kindly to the feet of Patrick Rakowski in his box. Alex DeLu was unhappy with that. Competitor as you wish. Phoenix have it. Rakowski scoops it up. Saint Shihas. Left center back, skipping a line. Sako, defended by Ian, ripped to the ground. That's a foul. Just inside the attacking half. Phoenix have a free kick. I harken you back to the World Cup in 2014. Germany, Argentina in the final. All those sides had made their changes, playing for penalties. And a little known 21-year-old popped up with a goal in the 114th minute to win the World Cup for Germany. Amidst a mixture of wild position players in weird spots. Extra time can provide you with funky freshness late on. Phoenix will take this free kick slowly with Saint standing over it.
You gotta waste the time here. Just let the clock sort of drag out. You have possession, you have command of what's gonna happen at least for the next 10 seconds.
Sako missed the header, and Sako fouled the defender. It was Ian who baited Isan Sako into it. Phoenix's free kick turns into a Tulsa one. Will Rising get those changes? That'd be my next question.
Well, they haven't really sent them to the
That's what I'm saying.
desk yet. Now you're just wondering, when will they come?
Formella stretching. Rizzo stretching. Derek looking long. Shihas won the header. Okello couldn't keep it in touch. Tulsa throw.
have to survive the next 3 minutes. The changes only matter as much as what comes after them. If you don't get to that portion of the game, it's all for naught.
The side will matter as well. Phoenix would not want to take it in front of this end.
No.
The supporters' end to the near side of our angle. Offside? No, a foul. A foul on Trevor Amon. Phoenix have a free kick. That is the 54th foul in this match. Update from Albuquerque. Malik Pinto for Orange County in the 68th minute has leveled it for OCSC in New Mexico. 1-1, 71st minute there. That's big for Phoenix Rising's potential brand with 2 minutes and a potential shootout on the horizon. Foul on Tulsa. Jamie Weber looked worse for wear, but an offense committed by Ian. Phoenix have a free kick in the 119th minute. Isan Saka will leave it for Charlie Dennis, 38 yards away. This will be a cross, certainly for Phoenix Rising. Flood is up, Shihus is up, Popmo Boy and Ryan Flood and Noble Kello too. Charlie Dennis with one right arm raised to the sky. Runs come from Rising. Dennis's delivery is at the area, away by Sissoko. Balls for Cabral. Back at the top of the area for Dennis. Crossing up. Back post Shihus, away by Batista. And now Amon along the ground, won by Flood for Phoenix. Morsu misplaced the pass. And Tulsa are on the break with Saint winning the header. Crucially, second ball Tulsa. Amon in the box. There it goes, serenading the crowd. Down it falls, cleared by Asenge. 120th minute has commenced. And now Phoenix are racing on. Remy Cabral running forward for Rising. Giordano Colley clipped it off him. And he switches play to Jamie Weber's feet. Final touches of the match, and Phoenix are looking to make 2 changes. They may not get the chance to. Weber switches play. Amon receives an overlapping run. Trevor Amon on the ball. Stefan Lukic, backheeled effort, finds Rakowski. No, it's cleared before he can get there. Final 20 seconds. Colley slipped. Weber's gonna find it. 40 yards away, attacking half. Wide left it goes, Giordano Colley. Poor cross, clipped in, headed out to Lens Pierre. Phoenix, foul, and it's gonna go against Tulsa? No, I don't believe so. I think he was pointing to the substitutions. So Phoenix will get to make their changes. We will have no stoppage time in the second period of extra time. This one, barring a Tulsa goal with the final kick, will go to penalties in downtown Tulsa. Morsu off, Formella on, Rizzo on, Popmore Boy off. From a penalty perspective, it feels somewhat sensible. We don't know enough about Morsu. We just know he's been working a lot on his ball striking. Popmore Boy is the one man who's struggled from the spot this year with Phoenix. To bring a teenager on is quite the call. Tulsa, a set piece. The 122nd minute of a Western Conference semifinal. Colley to slide one in. Everybody's at the top of the box. Service is good. Bounces about. It's not cleared. It falls and rolls. And Lucas! Unreal! Lukic, for the second consecutive week, saves FC Tulsa in extra time. They blew 3 whistles. It's absolute ecstasy late on in Oklahoma. And he grabs his son. Tears on both ends. FC Tulsa will host the Western Conference Final. And Phoenix Rising, their season comes crashing to an absolutely climactic conclusion. Stefan Lukic found yards of space, surged into it from 16 yards out, and launched it with the inside of his right foot past Patrick Rakowski, who's the last man to get off the ground. Phoenix Rising season comes to a close on match number 38 in Oklahoma. 1-0 FC Tulsa. The 120th minute plus 3 minutes of stoppage time. Tulsa won. Tulsa 1-0. Two sides that have not given up over the course of the season. Of course, it came down to that at the end. Kevin Cortez.
Tragic in its ending. Phoenix Rising had so much hope. One successful defensive free kick away from at least giving themselves a chance. You know, they had to fight through penalties if they were on the way. Tragic, you know, an inconclusive ending for Phoenix. They thought that they had more in the tank. Watch Pierce Rizzo and Darius Formello wait from the touchline as they were going to come in and try to slide home penalties. I thought they were going to try to slide home penalties. Not to be. Not to be. It's a shame, but they built, they had blocks. You could see where the pieces come together at the end. And although incomplete now, there's more of a ground than there has ever been for something to be next year. It just stings right now.
1-0 your final score. FC Tulsa in the 122nd minute officially claimed the craziest result of the weekend in the USL Championship. This side feels destined. Whoever would have won this game would have felt destined to lift the trophy in the last weekend of November. But right now it's Tulsa's to lose. They're the only #1 seed left. They'll host the Western Conference Final. They'll be the team that has all the opportunity to host a championship here at One Oak Field. We'll come back. Post-game wrap-up show is presented by Crown Public House. We'll talk about this one, the ending to this one. We'll talk about the season that was, the season that will be for Phoenix Rising. And we'll give due thanks to everyone involved across the Phoenix Rising Radio Network in 2025. Tulsa 1, Phoenix Rising 0. The season comes to an end for Phoenix on the road in Oklahoma on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
Susan Chukwu's in. Arteaga!
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL Champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Join Tune in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app. James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Time for one last kick of the ball on tonight's match. It's Rising Radio postgame wrap-up on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
First things first, Phoenix Rising fall in defeat in the Western Conference semifinal on the road in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1-0. Stefan Lukic for the second straight week, the hero in extra time, this time in stoppage time. One of the latest goals in the history of the sport you'll ever see. The final touch of the match, Lukic latches on and lends himself to this city, this club, and a 1-0 win for Tulsa, the number 1 seed, are moving on to the Western Conference Final. They will host next week either Orange County or New Mexico. 1-1 there late on. Ryan Sikora with Kevin Cordes for the postgame wrap-up presented by Crown Public House. Phoenix Rising fall in defeat tonight. They gave 121 minutes and 58 seconds of their effort. But late on, it wasn't enough. And that's the story, I think, to start with this match at first.
I think that we learned a few pretty valuable things about this team. We know that a lot of them are coming back, and I think that they just didn't have the pieces to beat this Tulsa side. It was FC Tulsa's, not from the start, but definitely at the finish, and they were the ones who were pressing forward, and they were going on, and it felt like they were just knocking, and then you get to the 120th, you go, okay, well, they knocked, but it doesn't matter. We're going to shoot from the spot, and at the death, the absolute death, they find a way to put one in. Stefan Lukic for the second week in a row. Close enough. Welcome back, 2023 Emmy Quay Show. I mean, we got it against us. And it's just a shame. It's a shame that it ends that way for Phoenix. One hell of a game for Rising and what they did over the course of the season. At one point, we didn't even know if they'd play a playoff game. And they turned it all the way around, and they get their goal, and they get their win in El Paso. And it didn't really feel like their goal was on the way tonight. That's the big problem. You know, playing all the way to penalties, 120 minutes, and we talked about it, things can get zany at the end. You know, you have so many different attacking players on there, and the defenders start to dwindle, and then suddenly Morsu is off. And you know what's odd, Ryan? You know, Morsu, they hadn't given up a goal. They hadn't given up a goal since Morsu, like any minute that he had played. And, you know, he goes, and then that happens. It's a tragic ending. Yeah. Tragic ending.
1-0, Tulsa wins. It ends the season for Phoenix Rising. Tough to get through at times. A side that had fought, clawed, really found its form at the tail end of the season to get to this point. Demolished El Paso, even though the scoreline and the results of the goal didn't really show it. They destroyed El Paso Locomotive last week. Stepped into this one with real momentum, real motivation to be here. But they met a side that was equally as motivated tonight. Kevin, Phoenix, it's kind of the end, maybe in a fitting way. It was good, but not quite enough, and that's what they're trying to build with this team into next year.
Yeah, I mean, they've had so many games like that too. Like, if this would have ended, in regular time, it would have been just another 2025 Phoenix Rising result, a draw, a 0-0 against a good team. They didn't really manufacture a whole lot on the net, but you still get a point, and you go to the table and say, okay, where do we go next? But that's just not how these ones end. And a team so meticulously built to get something just got nothing tonight. And they're working and they're pushing and they're trying to find that next step. But tonight it wasn't enough. And they faced a team that has been there last year. They didn't make the playoffs, and they were building for something more, and they played a team that found the pieces to have enough. I don't think, and although we danced around it and there was so much positivity we were winning in that first round, reality hits when reality hits, and 2023 wasn't going to be repeated. They didn't have enough. Tulsa was better. They had everything going for them, and ultimately they got their goal. They won.
The parity in this league is second to none. It's been special, and maybe Tulsa has the chance to capitalize upon that. For Phoenix, we will step aside in a moment. I want 2 good things, 2 bad things from the season at a whole.
This is a team that knows how to scratch something. My first good thing is just finding results. Pamuduka manufactured ones that at times, it was losing points for winning positions, but you'd walk out with the draw. Sometimes it was scratching points back from losing positions and getting points back, but this is a team that was on the precipice, and I'd rather a team on the precipice than a team that couldn't get there at all. That was what 2024 felt like. Couldn't get the results, couldn't get the points, and ultimately fell in Albuquerque in that first round. This is a team that knew how to win occasionally. They were rewarding themselves sometimes. That didn't really happen the year before that. That's one good thing. And the second good thing, thank God for the transfer window. They found so many fantastic pieces that will play a huge part of next year in the middle of the season. They found guys that will carry over, that will be so important in 2026. Thank God for the window. 2 bad things. They didn't know how to reward themselves even in the end. 120 minutes tick by, and you can't finish that one out. At least give yourself a chance from the spot. If you lose in penalties, you lose in penalties. And you can look at that one and say, we gave ourselves a chance. You didn't even give yourself a chance from the spot. It's a team that didn't know how to win when it all fizzled out. And I think the second worst thing is that they gave us a little too much hope. El Paso was so suffocating, so stifling, and Tulsa told us exactly why that was. Phoenix Rising was better than El Paso. They were not better than FC Tulsa. A little bit of false hope. I could have done without that, but I'm happy we won last week.
So we'll step aside. We'll take a look at next season and what to build on for this Phoenix Rising team here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network tonight from Tulsa.
Chukwu's in. Arteaga!
You're listening to Rising Radio, home of the 2023 USL champions.
Bliss and a burst of red smoke. Phoenix Rising, our home. Welcome to 38th and Washington.
Stick around for more as our broadcast continues.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on 1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app. James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
This is the Rising Radio post-game wrap-up on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
Celebration still ensuing from One Oak Field in Tulsa, Oklahoma tonight after FC Tulsa's 1-0 win over Phoenix Rising in the Western Conference semifinals. Here for the post-game wrap-up show presented by Crown Public House. Ryan Sikora, Kevin Cardez. We may get a chance to hear from Mihir Sinhasan here late on in this post-game wrap-up show. Kevin, I'm waiting for Mihir a little bit to hear the final quotes from Pamadou Ka this season, as there's no time. But your expectation for next year. We went over last year in the last block. We'll probably have one or two more questions about this match, but Phoenix Rising in 2026.
I think it's a team that should have more of a carryover identity. Obviously, I expect Pamadou Ka to be back. I expect a lot of these guys to be back. Most of their best players, I think, will play in 2026, at least until that winter window, and I expect them to come with a little more intensity off rip. The problem in 2025, at the start of the year, was that they were just figuring things out. Almost everybody was new. I mean, the amount of title holdovers from 2023 had diminished to 4. The amount of holdovers from the year prior were also a low number, and the team was just a brand new group of guys, and they were not forced to start slow, but when your preseason is, 5 weeks, and you get guys in the building that are brand new, you need to figure things out. I expect next year to start faster. I expect them to have more going. I also expect them to do more work in the offseason. 2026 starts on Monday. I truly believe that. I think that they're going to immediately get to work. They're going to figure out what they need and figure out what they need to find. I expect 2026 to start faster, and I expect it to be better too. This is a team that had the works and had the chops and the ethic and the work to be better than this. I expect next year to be better than this.
So that's the starting point. How does it look better? How do they get to that point?
Well, the pitfalls of this season, in my opinion, were instability and availability, not having guys available when you needed them to. Even now, you looked at the bench tonight, 3 academy kids, and one of your professionals was, a teenager who just signed his first professional contract and hasn't played a whole lot because he was injured for months. You still weren't fully healthy. The difference makers that were out, Colin Smith, Gianni Flores, I truly believe this team would have scored a goal if they would have had those guys. They were so integral, so important. Next year gets better because they can stack those positions. They won't have a moment in the middle of the season where they go, we have no center backs left. Potmore Boy's gone, Mo Traore's gone, Casey Walls has retired, and Crawford Saint's in Haiti. Okay, what do? We're going to play Ryan Flood in the middle? Okay, maybe next year that won't be the case. I expect next year to be better because they're going to be more available. They're going to have more guys to play in professional roles, and ultimately that stability will turn into consistency that turns into an identity, which they found in the last month.
All right, so amidst a muck of penalty takers and fans making their way on the pitch for autographs, we have Mihir Sinhasan with us on the touchline. Mihir, first, the general vibe from Pamadou Ka in the post-game presser, and then if you have direct quotes, we'd love to hear some of the things that stood out.
Yeah, so, let's be honest. This was a tough result for Phoenix Rising to swallow in. Pamadou Ka, in talking with the players, he said that he was very proud. He was very proud of his team, the way they fought in this match, the way they fought throughout the season. And I asked him, what are some of these key takeaways from this season that you take into next year? And he said, it continues to be the fight and the determination that has continued to spur Phoenix Rising to a lot of these results throughout the season. He was very complimentary with the players that he had and the way they were locked in for this run and really throughout the playoffs in general. So even though Rising is on the losing end today, there was a lot of optimism within this Phoenix Rising side, within the technical staff, within the front office to soar higher.
Mihir, thank you. While we have the chance, let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves here on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network. Tonight on KDUS AM 1060, you've been a wonderful partner for us throughout the season for home matches and across these 2 road matches in the playoffs as well. Mihir, so did you get the sense that this was an individual, Pamadou Ka we're talking about, that felt as though he had more to do, more to accomplish, was motivated for next season?
It definitely felt like that overall. You don't want to lose in a situation like this, and I think Pa knew it. Even though Rising, we saw it last week against El Paso, we saw it again tonight, that this was a team that came in as an underdog. It didn't feel that way. and Pa held his group to a high expectation. And we've been hearing this rhetoric from him over the past few weeks, but specifically at the beginning of the season. We know who we are. We know how good we can be. And I think when you take a look at this last part of the season, it's more or less we know how good we are now, and we know how good we are when it comes to chasing for a title.
Yep.
They were seconds away from sending this to a penalty kick against a team that they had beaten on penalty kicks earlier this year. And with all of that experience, it seems like Pa has a really good foundation to build on for next year.
Mihir, thank you so much, not only for tonight, but for your work all season long. Kevin, as always, we try to get you the final word. The floor is yours as New Mexico has taken a 2-1 lead late on in stoppage time to beat Orange County, potentially.
I think that it's okay to be upset. You know, throughout this, we've tried to hang in the middle and, you know, accept the losses for frustrating and accept the wins for promising. And last week, it felt like a step in the direction where, you know, we should be proud of this. But I think it's okay to be upset about tonight. It's okay to be upset about the results that didn't go their way. The fact that they were a point off of hosting a home playoff game and they had just drawn, you know, 5 games in a row. It's okay to be upset. I also think that it's okay to be hopeful. And I think that there's so much reason to be excited and hopeful for the next season, and to know that there is a system in place and a team and a staff that knows what needs to change, what needs to improve, what needs to be better, and that there's, you know, personnel that will flux in and out. But ultimately, Phoenix Rising last year sort of left without much. They lost in the first round, and it was an unsatisfying season. They gave up a lead in New Mexico, and everything felt like, what on earth will next year look like? I know what next year will look like. This time, I know what next year will look like. And I can say very confidently it will look better. A team that knows how to perform when they need to, and a team that needed to probably lose tonight. I think that in some odd ways, 2023 didn't set the club back, but it became hard when the man in charge left, and then you were left without the blueprint. This year, there's a blueprint. And I think that next year, if they follow it, things will be so much better than they were, or they looked that night in Albuquerque 12 months ago, nearly to the day. Things will be better, things will change. It's okay to be upset about tonight, and I think that it's okay to be hopeful tomorrow.
Final score on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network, 1-0 Tulsa beats Phoenix Rising late on in extra time, stoppage time, before we step aside for the final time in 2025. Some thank yous to get to as customary for the final match of the year. Everybody that put work into our programming over the course of this long season. Kevin Cardez, who's going to run the program entirely on his own, next in on the play-by-play and the on-air side of things on occasion. Mihir Sinhasan, the sideline reporter tonight and through most of the year. Casey Smith, Reese Goodall, Ronan Haycoop, Ryan Myers, Devin Henderson, along with Adam Beadle, Colgan Herschel, Alan Judson, Jason Ritchie. On the KDUS AM 1060 side of things, and the Hubbard Radio side of things, Chris Schubert, Corey Walsh. Tonight, Evan Reiser stepping in for those two. Owen Evans helped out throughout the portions of the season with getting us information and media things. On the team side, Kyle Pinnell ran a tight ship this year, his first year as the media man. Isabella Duran, Jasmine Clark, Noah Bedex, Tyson Hill for making it all happen. Joey Castor for getting these two guys to my left and right here to Tulsa, free of charge on the gas side of things. Kevin, I'm excited to watch this group run it next year, watch it work next year, and excited to see Phoenix Rising continue to persist on its journey to win again in the USL. The 2023 champions bow out in the Western Conference semifinals on the road in Tulsa. Go chase that home playoff game next year. We should have one for the first time in 5 years, I'd have to hope. So, saying so long from Tulsa and One Oak Field. For the final time on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network, I've been Ryan Sikora. Phoenix Rising fall 1-0 on the road in Tulsa to FC Tulsa. Stefan Lukic for the second straight week. You're the hero, my friend. Relish it. New Mexico's up next in the Western Conference Final, right here at this ballpark. Drive home safe, everybody. Thank you for joining us here tonight on the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.